One Piece. Story was made by Eiichiro Oda. The East Blue Saga, Syrup Village. The sky was adorned with a gentle smear of clouds, while two majestic ships glided gracefully through the tranquil waters, steadily advancing on their journey. "We need to plan things more," Nami said, breaking the silence with her thoughts spilling out loud enough for Luffy to hear. Luffy turned to her curiously as he sat on the head of the ship. "What do you mean?" She responded, "Are we going to the Grand Line like this?" The mention of the Grand Line lit up Luffy's face with excitement. "Oh, that's right! Although Uncle Cabbage gave us plenty of fruits, we don't have any meat on this ship." "I am not talking about the food supplies," Nami retorted. Meanwhile, Zoro lay comfortably on the small boat, lazily interjecting, "And we don't have any sake to drink either. How boring." "Let's not worry about the problem of food and drink first," she barked as her patience wore thin. Finding her composure, Nami continued, "The place we're going, the Grand Line, is the most dangerous place in the world. Every pirate in this world wishes to get the treasure there, so we need to get a better ship first. We're also short on crew members, and this ship doesn't have any equipment. No matter what you think, we can't possibly be safe." Luffy's eyes widened with concern. "Oh, what do we do then?" he asked, genuinely. Nami glanced at the map spread before her, surveying the landscapes that are written in the parchment. "We have to prepare first and plan for the journeys ahead. There's a village due north. We should go there first," she said thoughtfully. "First thing to do when we get there is look for a better ship." "And eat some meat," Luffy chimed in, as he couldn't help but add his own wish to the list. On a picturesque island, the village basks in the beauty of a sunny day. The calm sea stretches out before them, and a young villager stands by the shore taking in the magnificent sight. "It's such a beautiful day. There's nothing like starting such a happy and refreshing day by looking at the sea," he said proudly. With medium-length curly black hair and a long nose resembling Pinocchio's, the young adult wore leathered overalls and carries a brown pouch over his shoulders. His name was Usopp. As the birds chirp and the village exudes a tranquil ambiance, Usopp suddenly dashes into the scene, shouting alarming news. "Listen up! Look out, everyone! Pirates are attacking! Pirates! Pirates! Run for your lives!" "What? Did he say pirates?" one of the villagers shouted anxiously. Another villager looks out as they comment, "Ah! Usopp's up and about! Guess that means it's time for work. There he goes again." "Just kidding!" Usopp laughs heartily, but his joke doesn't go unpunished. An angry villager throws a pot at him. "That's it, you damn troublemaker! I'll get you this time!" As others follow suit, popping out of their houses with their makeshift weapons. "Uh-oh, here they come!" He braced himself as the villagers begin to run after him. "Wait up, you little turd!" the villagers shouted, but Usopp was quick on his feet as laughter arose in his voice. "Catch me if you can," he taunted, as his agile maneuvers outwit them all, and soon he disappears from their sight. "Damn, he got away again! That stupid little punk! I'll thrash him if I find him," the villagers shared. "Where the hell did he go?" In a secluded spot above them, Usopp takes a moment to catch his breath and revel in his successful prank. "I fooled every single person in the entire village today again," he boasts to himself as he sat comfortably on a tree branch. "Well, I've done my good deed for the day. I blew a breeze of excitement through this boring village." Just then, two little boys discover him from below. "Oh, hey guys!" Usopp cheerfully said. Excitedly, P-Man and Ninjin salute their captain with their wooden swords raised high. "Good morning, Captain Usopp! The Usopp pirate crew has arrived!" they announced proudly. P-Man wore a pepper-shaped hat and a green shirt with Usopp's Jolly Roger, while the freckled boy next to him, Ninjin, had spiky purple hair and an orange hat displaying the same emblem as Usopp's loyal crew members. Curiously, Usopp asks them, "P-Man, Ninjin, just you two? What about Tamanegi?" The boys inform him he's probably sleeping, huh? "Yeah, probably." "Oh man, too bad," Usopp responded back. As they ponder the absence of their fourth member, Tamanegi suddenly appears rushing towards them in a state of panic. "Emergency!" he yelled. "Oh, there he is," the boys added calmly as they continued, What the heck is he yelling about? Tamanegi shouted, "Emergency! Pirates are coming! It's true! I just saw it with my own eyes! A ship with a skull and crossbones at the northern shore!" "You're lying," Usopp and his fellow pirates chimed in calmly. But Tamanegi insists, "I'm serious! It was the mark of Buggy the Clown!" Hearing this, Usopp's demeanor changes, and fear takes over. "Are you serious?" he asks with genuine concern. "Yes, we're in big trouble!" the young boy exclaimed. Feeling overwhelmed, Usopp's instincts kicked in, and he turned to flee back to the safety of the village. "Oh dear, it's my snack time," he blurted out. "Stop running away," they demanded. Gasping for breath, Usopp finally stopped running, realizing he couldn't escape the truth any longer. With hesitation in his voice, he confessed, "To tell you the truth, I have eat a snake or you will die disease." "Liar!" the boys called out as they proposed. "Don't you want to be a real pirate, Captain? You can't wimp out around other pirates. Yeah, to just 3 pirates." "What? 3? It's not the main ship?" he questioned, hoping to take this easy opportunity. Tamanegi reassures him as he says to him, "Nope, just 2 teeny-weeny boats," he replied. Feeling a surge of courage, Usopp's fear began to subside as he declared boldly, "Very well, the Usopp pirate crew is moving out to keep the peace of the village. Come on, you guys," he shouted, rallying his friends. The young boys, impressed by Usopp's bravery, reaffirmed their loyalty. "Yes, sir!" they joined in. As the sun raised high in the sky, Luffy, Zoro, and Nami finally reached the mysterious island. They skillfully anchored their ships on land, ready to explore what lay ahead. Luffy gazed at the vast expanse of the island with wonder. "Wow, so there really is a mainland," he exclaimed. "What are you talking about?" "Of course there is. We just followed the map," Nami replied back. "You don't say," Luffy replied with a grin. "Is there a town that way?" he asked, pointing into the distance. "Yep, just a little one, apparently," Nami consulted as she held on to the map with glee. Unbeknownst to them, they had caught the attention of onlookers in the distance. Usopp and 3 curious kids watched from afar, leaning against a giant log. "Hey, Tamanegi, is that them? The pirates?" Usopp wondered aloud. "Yes, I saw the pirate flag on their sails," Tamanegi confirmed. Piman considered the sight before them. "They don't look scary at all," he mused, while Ninjin disagreed. Usopp observed the 3 pirates on land. Exhausted from his laziness, Zoro stretched his back and relished the moment. "Feels good to stand on solid ground again," he remarked. "You spent that whole time sleeping," Luffy teased. Zoro then asked the group. "By the way, I've been kind of wondering," he said, pointing at the 4 figures. "Who are they?" Piman, Ninjin, and Tamanegi suddenly got cold feet and fled as Usopp panicked. "Hey, wait! Don't just run away!" Hesitantly, he looked back at the 3 pirates and puffed up his chest, boldly proclaimed, "I am Usopp, head of a huge pirate fleet and ruler of this village. My people and servants heap praises upon their captain's name, the great Captain Usopp." He approached the pirates with confidence, declaring, "If you're thinking of attacking the town, think again. My 80 million followers cannot be stopped." "You're lying," Nami replied. "Gasp! Busted!" Usopp panicked, unable to maintain his charade. "See, you said busted," Nami pointed out with a sigh. In a flustered frenzy, Usopp tumbled on the ground, squirming and exclaiming, "Oh no! I accidentally let slip that I was busted, you scheming devil!" Luffy couldn't help but laugh heartily at Usopp's antics. "Man, you're funny," he said. "Don't insult me, you scumbag," Usopp retorted, his pride wounded. "I'm an extremely proud man. I've got so much pride, people call me Usopp the Proud." At the heart of the village stood a restaurant with a red sign that read, Meishi. Inside, Luffy and his merry crew gathered around a wooden table, hungrily savoring their meal with Usopp. The delightful aroma of freshly cooked meat filled the air as they dug into their hearty dishes. Luffy gnawed on a juicy piece on meat while Usopp couldn't contain his curiosity any longer. "What? Crew members?" Usopp exclaimed with wide eyes. "Crew members and a huge ship, huh?" Luffy grinned and nodded, relishing in his meal. Yep, that's right, he confirmed joyfully. Usopp praised the idea with admiration. Wow, what a great adventure. He then spoke with confidence. Well, we don't have any big sailing ships or anything here, but if there's a ship, I know the one place that'll have it. The one place? Nami inquired. Usopp continued. There's one huge mansion in town. The folks there are way richer than everyone else. I know the owner of that house. The owner, if you can call her that, is just a pitiful young girl. She's sick and weak and bedridden. Nami's curiosity deepened. Huh? Why would a girl like that own a mansion? Hey, lady, more meat, Luffy interrupted them. And Saki, Zoro joined in. Are you even listening? Usopp barked at them, trying to regain their attention. Sadly, about 1 year ago, she lost both parents to sickness. All she had left was a massive fortune, a huge mansion, and an army of servants. He leaned back on his chair, saddened by her events. Even with all the money and luxuries in the world, you'll never find a more tragic situation. Nami looked at him intently, silently contemplating the story before finally deciding, forget it, let's give up on finding a ship here. We can try a different town. Yeah, there's no rush, Luffy smiled. Plus, I just ate. Let's buy some more food and then go, he said. By the way, you said you were looking for crew members? Usopp offered himself. Yeah, know anyone? Luffy replied. With great pride, Usopp pointed to himself. You can make me your captain. His proposition, however, failed as they all disagreed in unison. Hey, at least consider it, Usopp persisted. On the outskirts of the village, nestled amidst lush gardens and elegant architecture, stood a grand mansion. Inside, a young woman named Kaya, with flowing blonde hair and enchanting brown eyes, rested on a luxurious bed beside her window. Clahador? Kaya spoke out. Kaya's loyal butler approached her bedside with utmost respect. What is it, Mistress Kaya? Gazing out the window, Kaya's voice was soft but determined as she spoke. I want to see Usopp. Her mind seemingly was preoccupied as the wind breezed through the window, gazing in the distant horizon. Within Syrup Village, where the rooftops seemed to touch the sky as clouds drifted lazily overhead over the quaint houses. Amidst this idyllic scene, 3 young friends, Piman, Ninjin, and Tamanegi, moved with purpose. Their footsteps were hushed, as if the very air held secrets they dared not disturb. They were on a mission to the cozy restaurant that beckoned with its inviting aroma. As they placed their backs against the restaurant, the trio paused, their hearts pounding in unison. Their eyes met, exchanging silent determination in their mission. Piman's voice trembled with anxiety. The pirates really went in here, right, Tamanegi? He confirmed. He nodded resolutely as he pointed his finger inside the building. Yup, I saw them. The pirates lured the captain in here. We gotta save him, Tamanegi declared. Beside them, Ninjin wavered in his words. But real pirates are savages. We might get eaten. With a courageous flair, Piman shot back. No, it's cave witches that eat people, you nerd. Now pull yourself together, Ninjin. This fight is going to be the greatest and most heroic battle since the formation of the Usopp pirate crew. With a determined nod, the 3 boys brandished their small wooden swords, preparing for their valiant stand. With a loud thud, the door slammed open as the 3 boys entered the restaurant. The Usopp pirate crew has arrived, they declared with youthful bravado. Luffy, Zoro, and Nami, seated at a table inside, turned their attention to the unexpected entrance. Nami's curiosity shone in her gaze as she asked, Who's that? I don't know. Who are they? Luffy replied honestly through the tension. Yet as the boy's eyes scanned the room, realization dawned like a storm cloud. Wait, the captain isn't here? Tamanegi's voice quivered with anxiety. Maybe they got him. Fear tightened its grip on the young Usopp crew, but they rallied their courage. Their voices rose with their wooden swords lifted high in the air. Hey, pirates! What have you done with our Captain Usopp? Give the captain back, they demanded. Amid this commotion, Luffy's voice drifted with contentment, as if the world's problems could be solved with a full stomach. That meat was delicious. The boys' panic intensified. What, meat? You mean the captain? They exclaimed with desperation. Nami's smile glimmered through the commotion as Zoro interjected. If it's your captain you want. He relaxed against the table as he made a bold statement. We just ate him. The room fell into silence, save for the sharp intake of breath from the young boys. Their cries echoed in unison as their gaze shifted towards Nami. Ah, cave witch! Why are you looking at me? Nami retorted. The boys fell like dominoes with their brave fronts shattered against the floor. You say the stupidest things! Nami's frustration blended with Zoro's chuckles. Eventually, the storm of emotions subsided. The Usopp pirates picked themselves up. It's time? They questioned to the traveling pirates. Zoro's nod confirmed their query. Yeah, he said that and then he left, Piman explained. Oh yeah, it must have been time to go to the mansion. Nami's curiosity sparked again. Is that the mansion with the bedridden girl? She inquired. Ninjin's confirmation came with a solemn nod. Yup. What's he gonna do? Luffy asked. The chorus of young voices rose, excitement mingling with mischief. Lie! Luffy was confused. Isn't that bad? With fervent conviction, the young pirates defended their stance. It's not bad, it's great, right? Yeah, it's great. As the room settled, Luffy's puzzlement lingered despite the boys' affirmation to their captain. Amidst the village landscape stood the mansion, a grand two-story structure that exuded an air of elegance. At the mansion, many large paneled windows surrounded the building as a regal golden family crest proclaimed itself at the center of the estate. Crowned with a vibrant blue rooftop, the mansion was surrounded by steel bars and a formidable gate. Inside this mansion, a figure emerged from the shadows. His presence commanded attention, his black suit adorned with intricate golden markings that bespoke a position of authority. Underneath his suit, he wore a gray shirt with a meticulously curled collar lay beneath the suit, accentuated by a standard black tie. His hair, as dark as midnight, was combed with precision, as he wore circular glasses that was perched upon his nose. In his right hand, a pristine white serviette rested on his arm. This was Clahador, the mansion's butler. You want to see Usopp? Not again, the butler warned her. Why not? I want to talk to him, Kaya responded. Clahador's professionalism remained unshaken. I cannot allow it. How many times must I say this? He is the most rebellious, no-good rascal in the village. Talking with him would be a bad influence to you. Defiance sparked in Kaya's eyes as she retorted. Cheapskate! Clahador's rejoinder was cool, calculated. Yes, a cheapskate indeed. Say what you will. It will not make it any better for you. For a young mistress as delicate as yourself, Usopp's ridiculous tales are far too stimulating. I'm perfectly fine. Kaya stood her ground. Clahador's palms gently tugged his glasses as he pressed earnestly. Please hear me out. I was instructed by your dear departed parents. They ordered me to keep you safe, Mistress Kaya. That's why I even hired guards, just to ensure your safety. Silence enveloped the room as Kaya absorbed his words. Yes, I know. It is all for your sake, mistress. Clahador tugged his glasses. Yes, I know, Kaya remembered. The mansion butler's demeanor softened as he prepared her requirements. I am glad you understand. Your medicine is right here. Please take it. I know. Kaya's admission was a whisper as the weight of her obligations pressed upon her. As Clahador departed, the room's atmosphere shifted. Kaya's gaze turned towards the window, her heart skipping a beat at the familiar rhythm of two knocks. With a sense of delight, she opened the window and saw Usopp on the other side. Hey, lifeless as usual, I see, Usopp teased playfully. With regret and fondness, Kaya responded, I'm sorry, I wanted you to come inside as a guest, but Clahador just won't allow it. He's not a bad person, really. Usopp smiled as he politely refused. Nah, I'm fine out here. Can't breathe in that stuffy house. And besides, I'm a valiant warrior of the sea, he proclaimed. Laughter danced in Kaya's eyes as she responded. So, what adventure is today's story about? Usopp's expression shifted to one of contemplation, his voice adopting a whimsical tone. Let's see, today will be the time when I was 5 and I fought a giant goldfish from the southern seas. A goldfish? Kaya replied with disbelief. Usopp's eyes sparkled with mischief as he wove his tale. The first thing that surprised me was how huge and long its poop was. It was so big, I thought it was an island and actually landed on it. Kaya laughed as she listened to Usopp's adventures, bit by bit. Back at the village's cozy restaurant, the group huddled together as they discussed about Usopp. "I get it. He's a good guy," Luffy declared, finally aligning with the situation. "So for over a year, he's been going to her house to make up stories and get her to feel better." Nami contemplated. The affirmation was met with approval, each member of the group adding their unique perspective. "I like the captain's noisiness," Ninjin remarked. "I like his bossiness," Piman chimed in. Tamanegi added, "I like his instigating." Zoro's calm demeanor belied his acknowledgement. "Sounds like he gets lots of adoration around here." Undeterred, Luffy said with enthusiasm, "So maybe the mistress feels better already," he speculated. Ninjin confirmed his remark. "Oh yeah, a lot better, thanks to the captain." Luffy's declaration shattered any lingering doubts. With a triumphant leap from his seat, he rallied his companions. "All right then, let's go to the mansion and get our boat." "No, didn't I tell you to give up on that already?" Nami retorted. The sun bathed the mansion's iron gates in a warm glow as Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and the young Usopp pirates arrived. They quickly fixed their eyes against the imposing entrance that stood before them. "Hello?" Luffy's voice rang out. "One boat, please," he added, as his words echoing in the air. The moments passed without a response, the air thick with anticipation. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, Luffy hoisted himself over the gate. "Okay, let's go in," he muttered. Piman couldn't help but address Luffy's impulsiveness. "Does the word greeting mean anything to you?" he asked. Beside Piman, Nami sighed, worrying about his nature. "Nothing stops him," she mused with frustration. Zoro agreed. "Yup, all you can do is follow along," he observed. Inside the mansion's walls, a timid butler with lamb-like features approached the main butler, with his white curly hair resembling a lamb's fleece. Adjusting his glasses with his palms, Clahador responded to his colleague's report with surprise. "What? Trespassers? What happened to the guards?" he demanded, his tone laced with concern. The lamb-like servant explained. "Sir, they're at lunch right now," he reported. In another part of the mansion, Usopp entertained the inquisitive Kaya with his stories, his words painting vivid images of adventure. Among his tales, one stood out, prompting Kaya's curiosity. "So what about the goldfish?" she inquired, her eyes twinkling with interest. With dramatic flair, Usopp concluded, "I cut it up into pieces and brought it to the land of the little people, where they are still eating it to this day. And once again, in recognition of my great deeds, the people praised me just like some—" But his narration was abruptly interrupted by a chorus of young voices exclaiming, "Captain!" "Yes, Captain," he acknowledged to his story. As his eyes fell on the newly arrived pirates, he couldn't help but question, "Why are you all here?" The young boys pointed to Luffy as their guide. "This guy told us to bring him here." Kaya, drawn by the commotion, peered into view, piquing her curiosity. "Who is that?" she inquired. With unbridled enthusiasm, Luffy introduced himself. "Oh, so you're the mistress," he proclaimed. Usopp, never one to be outdone, moved to Luffy's side, his arm draped over his shoulder in a show of camaraderie. "These suckers here have heard the rumors and traveled the long and tiring road to reach me," he announced, his confidence unshakable. "New members of the Usopp pirate crew," he confessed with pride. "Wait, I mean no," Luffy added. Kaya was taken aback with intrigue. "A request? Of me?" she questioned. "Yeah!" Luffy's voice brimmed with joy as he widened his arms open. "We want a big, huge boat!" "What are you doing here?" Clahador demanded as he confronted the unexpected visitors. "You can't simply barge into the mansion like this," he continued. Usopp's expression shifted from his earlier bravado to a mix of discomfort and uncertainty. As the tension mounted, every eye fixed on the mansion's butler. Kaya attempted to intercede. "Listen, Clahador, these people are—" But Clahador brushed aside her attempt at explanation, his focus solely on the newcomers. "I do not care," he declared, his tone unyielding. "If there is a reason, I will hear it afterwards. Now please leave, all of you. Or is there something you want to say?" Luffy's response was simple and direct. "Yeah, I want a boat," he stated. "No," Clahador replied. With his sharp eyes fixing on the young pirate's distinctive long nose, the butler spoke out. "You there? You're Usopp?" he inquired with suspicion. "I've heard the rumors about you. You have quite a reputation in town." Usopp, not one to shy away from recognition, offered a gracious reply. "Oh, why thank you. You may call me Captain Usopp if you wish. As a means to show your respect," he responded with pride. Clahador, unimpressed, pushed further. "The guards tell me they catch sight of you around here every once in a while," he continued, his words measured. "Is there a reason for that?" Caught off guard, Usopp stumbled over his words, attempting to concoct an explanation. "Ah, yes. Well, you see, I saw this legendary mole burrow under the mansion, so I went searching." Clahador chuckled briefly as he points out, "I see that you certainly do like to flap your tongue," he commented. "I have heard about your father as well," he added, his gaze sharpening. "You're only the son of a filthy pirate. I wouldn't put anything past you. Do not come near the mistress anymore." Zoro and Nami watched the interaction unfold as Luffy suddenly thought aloud, "His dad was a pirate?" Usopp stumbled back, enraged by his comment. "Did you say filthy?" he comments. "You and the mistress live different worlds. Is it money you want? How much?" Clahador mocked. Kaya couldn't hold it any longer as she shouts, "That's enough, Clahador! Apologize to Usopp!" she demanded. But Clahador continued mocking him. "Whatever would I apologize to this uncivilized brute for, mistress? I am simply stating the truth. I feel sorry for you. You hate him, don't you? The foolish, treasure-mad father who left his family and the village behind." "Clahador!" the mistress shouted again, but Usopp was not about to let Clahador's insults slide. His anger ignited. He demanded, "Don't you dare say another word about my father!" Undeterred, Clahador continued his mockery, his tone dripping with condescension. "Why are you getting so worked up about this? How sad. I expected you would make up another of your special little lies, such as my father was actually a traveling salesman, or we're not really related." In a fury of rage, Usopp leaped up and demanded, "Shut up!" as he punches the butler across the face with his right hook. Except for the pirates, Kaya and the three young boys watched in shock as the scene unfolds before their eyes. Clahador picks himself from the ground, trying to adjust his glasses as he demonstrated, "See that? So quick to violence! Like father, like son!" "Be quiet!" Usopp thundered as he declared. "I'm proud that my dad was a pirate. I'm proud that he was a valiant warrior of the sea. Just like you say, I am a troublemaker. But I cannot pretend that I'm not proud of my pirate blood. I am the son of a pirate." As the area absorbed Usopp's fervent declaration, Luffy's memory stirred. "Oh yeah, him. Now I remember," he murmured. "Captain!" the trio exclaimed as they watched Usopp deliver a punch that sent Clahador crashing to the ground. Clahador rose from the ground with measured poise, showing his calm demeanor to the group. "You said pirates are brave warriors of the sea?" he sneered. "Don't twist the truth. It's because you have that kind of savage bloodline, that you like to lie so much, and use violence whenever you are enraged. I believe you only get close to the mistress for the money." As Clahador got back onto his feet, Usopp retorted, "What the hell are you talking about? Who cares what your motive is?" Clahador boomed. "The fact that your father is a pirate is more than enough reason for me to kick you out," he proclaimed, as his voice echoed through the tense atmosphere. Usopp's rage surged, tightening his right hand for another punch as he grabbed his black tie. "I dare you to say that again!" he thundered with fury. "Usopp, please stop!" Kaya's voice, laden with desperation, reached out through an open window. "Please don't use violence," she continued. The urgency in Kaya's plea halted Usopp's impending strike. His gaze shifted towards her, his eyes locking onto her tearful face. Kaya's voice trembled as she interjected with sorrow. "Clahador isn't a bad person. He's just concerned about me. That's why he's a little extreme." As if on cue, Clahador's hand sliced through the air, slapping Usopp's grip off his tie. "Get the hell out of here," he said with impatience, as he demanded them, Savages like you are not welcome here. I'll let you off this time, but I warn you, don't come here again." Amidst the turmoil, Kaya stood by the window, her eyes blurred with tears. "Fine. I understand." Usopp said, "I'll leave even without you telling me to," as her dear friend walked to the iron gates. "I'll never come back here again," he said, saddened by the outcome. Kaya and the young pirates tried to call him back, but nothing stopped him from leaving the premise. Ninjin, Piman, and Tamanegi could no longer contain their fury. "You bastard! Captain is not that kind of person!" Ninjin bellowed. "Yeah, stupid!" Piman chimed in with a fiery spirit. "Idiot!" Tamanegi's voice joined in. "Idiot!" Luffy added. Zoro shot a questioning glance at Luffy. "Why are you screaming along with them?" Before Luffy moved on to the butler, Zoro restrained his captain as much as he could before he could make a stupid mistake, while the kids mocked the mansion's butler with pride. The scene descended further into chaos as Clahador's voice pierced through. "All of you, get the hell out of here now," he demanded. In the grand mansion, Kaya lay propped up on her bed, wrapped in a cocoon of plush blankets, coughing. Amidst this quiet struggle, a knock punctuated the silence twice, as if seeking permission to breach the solitude. The door swung open, revealing Clahador, the faithful butler, pushing a stroller that held a tray of food. "Mistress, it's lunchtime," he announced with a gentle tone. "I don't want it." Kaya's voice emerged from her pillow, feeble and heavy with misery. "I don't want to eat. It doesn't taste good." The butler's eyes softened as he leaned closer. "Don't say that. The chef is going to get mad," he implored, a hint of a sigh in his voice. "He tried to come up with some food suited for your health, mistress." Kaya's gaze remained distant. An exasperated breath escaped her lips as she pondered. "Why did you have to say it that way?" she asked. "I know I kept it from you. Secretly talking to Usopp is my fault. But you shouldn't have chased him away like that." Clahador paused for a moment as he slowly approached her bed. "May I sit?" he requested. Kaya's gaze met his, a silent affirmation. He settled onto the edge of her bed, the distance between them bridged by the weight of their shared history. "I've been in this house for 3 years now. I can never forget what happened that day," he began, holding a trace of nostalgia in his voice. 3 years ago, I was working on a ship. Because of a small mistake, I was fired. Afterwards, I got lost wandering and ended up in this village. I didn't have any money and didn't know what to do, but your dad took me in. If he hadn't done that, I would be dead now. To me, your late parents were my saviors." Clahador continued with a mixture of reverence and gratitude. "And you are my savior's daughter. I know interfering with you making friends is none of this lowly servant's business, but that Usopp guy, he has a bad reputation in the village." His voice caught, emotion painting his words in shades of loyalty. If anything happened to you, I would feel like I had betrayed your parents." Kaya absorbed his words silently, as Clahador added calmly, "I know that what I said before was a little extreme. Do you hate me because of it?" he questioned. Kaya admitted softly, "No, I don't hate you. I should thank you for taking care of me. But you misunderstood him. Usopp is not a bad person at all." Clahador stood up with his back straightening as he adjusted his glasses. "That doesn't matter," he responded with finality. Why won't you listen to my explanation?" Kaya pressed. "So what if I don't listen?" the butler replied back. Outside the mansion's grandeur, Zoro, Ninjin, and Piman perched themselves against a wooden fence near the village, as Nami sat on top of it. "Where's Luffy?" she spoke out, gazing in the horizon. Zoro's response was swift. "He went chasing that captain." Ninjin chimed in with cheerfulness. "The captain must be there." "Yes, at the shore. Every time something happens, he always goes there," Piman added. Curiosity piqued. The two young boys turned their attention to their older companions. "Are you guys gonna go check it out?" they asked in unison. But Zoro denied their response. On top of the fence, Nami directed the conversation. "Hey, where's your other buddy?" she inquired. "Oh, Tamanegi, right?" Piman replied. "He often suddenly disappears." Ninjin added, "Yeah, and makes ton of noise when he shows up." As if summoned by their words, Tamanegi appeared, a whirlwind of urgency and disarray. His frantic words filled the air, painting a picture of an oddity that seemed impossible. "This is bad! Bad news!" he cried out. "There's a man that's backwards. There's a weird guy. He walks backwards." "Liar," P-Man and Ninjin told him calmly. But he persisted. "It's true! Look!" he pointed out. A figure emerged in the distance. A thin man adorned in a dark blue jacket and a striking blue hat that shielded his features. His gait was a mesmerizing dance, a moonwalk that defied the natural order. As he drew nearer, the details of his appearance came into focus, as he wore a red, heart-shaped pair of glasses on his nose, a chin that bore a striking resemblance to a pharaoh with blue and white stripes. His hair, an ethereal white, caught the sunlight in a way that gave him an otherworldly glow. And then, he stood before them. "Who's calling me a weird guy?" he challenged, his stance defiant yet playful. Nami reaffirmed their response. "Yes, you are. Any way I look at it, you look weird." With a flourish, the man adjusted his hat. "Shut up. I'm just a hypnotist passing by," he said. The trio of young boys were entranced, their eyes wide with wonder. "Hypnotist? Wow. Can you show us your skills? Yeah, show us!" they begged with enthusiasm. Django, the enigmatic figure, scoffed at their naivety. "What? Idiots. You guys don't even understand what a hypnotist is. This is our first meeting. No way I'm showing you my hypnotism." "Okay, you guys stare at this." "But you're showing them anyway," Zoro sighed. With the air of a showman, Django produced a circular metal disc, suspended from a string. His movements were calculated, a dance of intrigue that drew the children's gaze. "I'll say 1, 2, Django, and you will all fall asleep," he announced, his words a prelude to his act. "Let's start. 1, 2, Django." At that moment, when the command was uttered, both Django and the boys gently crumpled to the ground, sleeping peacefully. Amidst the stillness, Zoro's voice echoed with frustration. "Hey, what the hell is he doing?" The waves whispered secrets to the rugged edges of the cliffs, their rhythm a comforting symphony of nature's serenity. Near the coast of the island, Usopp sat alone on a prominent cliff as he gazed at the endless expanse of the sea. Thoughts swirled within him, the silence of the sea echoing his introspection. Abruptly, Luffy swung into view. He dangled upside down from a tree, his grin as irrepressible as ever. "Hi, there you are," he greeted with enthusiasm. Usopp startled, nearly losing his balance. "It's you! Why can't you be more normal?" he exclaimed. Unfazed, Luffy dropped to the ground, sitting down next to him. "Your dad is Usopp, right?" he inquired. Usopp's mouth fell open. Astonishment painted across his features. "How do you know that?" he questioned with disbelief. With a smile, Luffy answered, "I've known his since I was a kid." "Really? You know my dad," Usopp blurted out. Luffy nodded. "You look just like him. No wonder I thought you looked familiar. I just realized that a moment ago." The weight of realization pressed upon Usopp. "Where is he now?" he queried, his excitement growing palpable. "I don't know," Luffy replied. "But I'm pretty sure he is on Shanks, the red-haired ship. Usopp is one of my favorite pirates in that crew." "Really?" Usopp exclaimed in awe. They both settled onto the cliff, drifting their heads to the sky. Usopp's voice lowered in contemplation. "So he is on that red-haired Shanks ship, huh?" "Shanks, the red-haired?" Usopp proclaimed in shock, as the revelation dawned on him deeply. Luffy's surprise was evident. "Why? You know Shanks?" Usopp's reverence was undeniable as he praised, "Of course! He is a great pirate. Is my dad really on that great ship?" His excitement surged like a tide. With a thoughtful expression, Luffy stroked his chin. "Great. Yeah. His shooting is the best. Usopp never misses anything within his range." A shift in time painted the past, a village bathed in sunlight. A younger Luffy gazed in awe as Usopp demonstrated his unparalleled sharpshooting skills. An apple met its fate, struck true from a distance. "Wow! Amazing!" Luffy's admiration rang through the air. Usopp's pride was unmistakable. Of course! Even if it's between the eyes of an ant, I can shoot it! His joy resonated. In the local bar, Usopp's laughter intertwined with the clinking of mugs. His tales flowed as freely as the sake he indulged in. Next to him, a young Luffy listened. "Luffy, I have a son. He's just about your age," Usopp confessed in a drunken state. "I know, you've told me 100 times already," Luffy replied. With a gleeful grin, Usopp seized Luffy's ear as he stuck his mug against his head. "I'm gonna tell it, so you have to listen to it no matter how many times." "Ah! Yes, yes!" Luffy panicked in pain as Usopp's revelry carried him to his feet. He stood in front of his crewmates and bellowed with joy. "I had to force myself to leave him. There's only one reason, because the pirate flag was calling me." Cheers erupted in response. Returning to the present, Luffy's excitement lingered. Usopp was a really popular pirate, he said. Usopp's pride for his father shined through. "Is that really true? To tell you the truth, even though he left me for the sea, I'm always proud of my dad, but that bastard Clahador looked down on him. He looked down on my pride." He replied, "Yup, I don't like him at all." His eyes sought Usopp's. "Are you giving up seeing that mistress?" he questioned. Usopp sighed. "I don't know. Maybe if that Butler apologizes and begs me, then I'll consider." "That Butler?" he questioned, as Luffy's gaze shifted downward to the bottom of the cliff. "Yeah, that Butler," Usopp scoffed, as he suddenly realized he was actually down there. "Why is he here?" Clahador's voice floated up, accompanied by another figure. "Django, I told you not to draw the attention of the villagers. Why did you sleep in the middle of the street?" Clahador demanded. Django's response was flamboyant, his dance-like pose matching his words. "How can I attract any attention? It's not like I look weird or something." Luffy and Usopp crouched, eavesdropping on the unfolding dialogue. Luffy's observation was keen. "There's a weird-looking guy with him." Usopp's confusion mirrored Luffy's. "I've never seen him before. Who is he?" Clahador's menacing presence deepened as he tugged his glasses with his palms. "So, are you all prepared for it?" Ladened with intent, Django responded, "Of course. We can start Operation Assassinate Mistress at any time." The shockwaves of those words reverberated, catching both Luffy and Usopp in their grip. "What? Assassinate?" they both thought with disbelief. Clahador stood there, an enigmatic figure with his glasses perched delicately on his nose. The gentle breeze ruffled his suit as he turned to face Django, who stood by his side. "Assassinate is such an ugly word," Clahador mused. Django's response was swift, a nervous chuckle escaping his lips. "Ah, yeah, accident. We'll call it an accident," he stammered, his fingers fumbling with his hat. His eyes darted to Clahador, then to the horizon. "Isn't that right, Captain Kuro?" Clahador adjusted his glasses as he thought aloud. "Captain Kuro, I gave up that name 3 years ago. Don't call me by that name again. You are the captain now," he carried with authority. Amidst the unfolding scene, Usopp and Luffy remained hidden above them, piqued by the exchange above. As they observed in silence, Luffy pointed out, "Hey, what are those two talking about?" he queried, his eyes fixed on the figures below. Usopp panicked, as his voice trembled in hushed tones. "You heard them yourself. Why are you asking me? I think I've heard the name Captain Kuro somewhere." Sweat dripped along his face as he shared his thoughts. "I think he's the pirate famous for his careful planning before robbing and plundering, but I heard he got caught by the Marines 3 years ago and got executed." "I still remember that day. It simply shocked me," Django shared. With a dramatic flourish, he raised his thumbs in the air. "You said you were going to give up being a pirate and made me the captain," he announced, as he shifted his thumbs down. "Everyone thinks that Captain Kuro has been executed by the Marines, but actually, you hid in this little village and told us to come here in 3 years' time." Django took a seat on a weathered rock as he continued. "Before, when I worked for you, there were always a lot of benefits. That's the only reason I worked for you. I can get a good share this time, right?" he pondered. Clahador agreed. "If you succeed, you'll get your share," he affirmed him. Good. Leave that girl to me, the hypnotist exclaimed. Killing her is not enough, Kuro admonished. You have to make sure it looks like an accident. It looks like you're not ready yet. Shut up. I'm completely ready, Django retorted. When you send the signal, we'll charge into the village and kill the mistress, simple as that. Then you can openly claim her inheritance. Kuro adjusted his glasses as he points out sharply, I wonder if your mom actually gave you a brain. I have no relation to her family. How can there be an inheritance for me? We can work on it, Django confidently remarked. But Kuro's rebuttal was firm. It's no use. The most important art is, before you kill her, you have to hypnotize her and make her write my name into the will, saying, I will leave all my wealth to my butler, Clahador, he instructed. Usopp's surprise mirrored the tension in the air. Kuro's plan unfurled like a sinister tapestry, leaving no room for doubt as he remarks to the hypnotist. This way I can openly claim her wealth. I've spent 3 years getting everyone to trust me, and as soon as she writes the will, no one will suspect me. Kuro's words dripped with a chilling confidence. Just for this, you spent 3 years being a butler? If I were you, I would have just robbed them straight on, Django jeered. Kuro's response was sharp as he replies, If I had done that, I'd still be an outlaw and the Marines would still be chasing me. This plan can get me tons of money, plus I won't have the Marines chasing me. I like using my head to find a peaceful way to settle things. Django's mockery was relentless as he laughed at his responses. Peaceful way to settle things? You mean murdering her entire family is a peaceful way? He scoffed. Hey, what entire family? Kaya's parents died naturally. That was outside my plans. Kuro replied honestly, Whatever. Let's not argue over this. Anyway, you just need to send the signal, Django conceded, his impatience giving way to the calculated plan. Our ship has been anchored close by for almost a week. They can't hold back any longer. Atop a rocky outcrop overlooking the 2 figures below, Usopp anxiously tried to gather what has been said in their conversation. Horrible. I've heard a horrible plan. Luffy turned to his friend. Hey, what's going on? This doesn't look good. Usopp's thoughts raced like wild horses in a storm. Isn't he listening? Of course it doesn't look good. They're serious about this. So for 3 years, they already lusted after Kaya's family wealth. And that butler, no, Captain Kuro is still alive. And I punched him before. He'll kill me for sure. His worry spilled out in words as he adds, Kaya will be killed too. The village will be under attack. Not good at all. But in the midst of Usopp grappling with his fears, Luffy stood up, facing the pair below. Don't stand up. They'll see you, Usopp warns. However, it didn't stop him. His voice cut through the silence like a clarion call as Luffy announced, Hey, you two! Don't you dare touch the mistress! Django and Kuro's gaze lifted, their eyes narrowing to the top of the cliff. Usopp's heart raced, his voice a frantic plea as he clung to Luffy's arm. You idiot! They'll see you! Hide! They'll kill you! But the die was cast, and Kuro's recognition was unambiguous. Oh, it's Usopp, he remarked sharply. He saw me. Usopp panicked as the butler coldly remarks with a dead stare. Did you hear anything? He questioned. Usopp's hands flailed, trying to deny his inquiry at every cost. No, nothing at all. We just got here. Really? We heard everything, Luffy affirmed him. Hey! Usopp intensified, slapping his arm, to no effect. Kuro looked to the shore as the hypnotist asks the same question. Heard everything, he questioned, but he knew that they did and pulled out his disc, ready to hypnotize them. Oh well, you guys, take a look at this pendulum. The pendulum's metronomic rhythm began its sway, a hypnotic trance that drew the pair's attention. Look at what? Luffy asks him as he stares directly at the pendulum. Usopp's eyes widened in fear. He's going to use that to kill us! He desperately tries to warn him. Django persisted as he moved it from side to side. When I say 1, 2, Django, you will fall asleep. He announces, 1, 2. With incredible speed, Usopp crouched in great haste behind Luffy as if hoping to evade an inevitable fate. Idiot, hurry and hide, he heeded. Django! The hypnotist finished with flair. At that moment, both Luffy and Django fell straight to sleep. Just before the hypnotist fell to the floor, Kuro managed to hold him up. "You still haven't got rid of that habit, have you?" the butler comments. As his consciousness slipped away, Luffy's body was drawn to the precipice of the cliff above them. "Hey, what are you doing? You're falling over!" Usopp shouts desperately, but time slipped through his fingers like grains of sand as Luffy walked off of the cliff. With a loud crash, Luffy landed headfirst into the ground as Kuro looked intently. Hey, you! Are you all right?" Usopp's voice echoed, carrying his concern over the edge of the cliff below. Only the butler and the hypnotist remained, offering no reply to his desperate query. "Damn, I didn't want to kill him. Broken neck, I don't think there's any hope," Django sincerely remarks. "Bastard! You killed him!" Usopp retorts. "What about that one? Kill him too?" Django inquired to his former captain. "Don't need to. No matter what he says, no one will ever believe him." Kuro calmly replies. The weight of Kuro's plan hung heavy in the air, as Usopp's shock was eclipsed only by Kuro's calculated response as he continued. "Django, tomorrow morning. Take the crew to attack the village and destroy some houses, make it look like a pirate raid, then kill Kaya, the mistress." "Tomorrow?" Usopp stammers his breath. Kuro then looked at him directly from below with a calculated stare. "Did you hear that, Usopp? It doesn't really matter. You can't affect my plan." "Damn, I hate you," Usopp retorts as he runs directly to the village in top speed. "You sure it's okay?" Django clarifies with him. Kuro remarks sharply, "Don't worry, my plan won't be affected." As they discussed even further with their plans, Luffy slept on the ground peacefully. As Usopp fled from the scene, his thoughts raced, his heart heavy with a sense of impending doom. "This is bad! This is bad! This is bad! The villagers will all be killed. Kaya will be killed too. People that I love this village." His thoughts raced as memories flooded his mind, recalling the time that defined his connection to this place. Who are you?" Kaya asked politely. Usopp's words were infused with a resolute cheerfulness. "I'm Usopp, brave warrior of the sea. I've heard about your misfortune, so I'm here to talk to you, to cheer you up." "It's none of your business. Get out of here. I'm gonna yell for help," the mistress replied back. Usopp's determination was unyielding, his voice infused with a mix of conviction and playfulness. "Don't be scared. I just like to mind other people's business." Usopp laughed. As the memories of Kaya flooded through his mind, he kept running and he did not look back. In the distance, a figure darted across the horizon, a blur of speed that caught Zoro's watchful eye. His sharp gaze fixed on the distant movement, curiosity stirring within him. As the wind tousled his hair, he leaned nonchalantly against the old wooden fence. Usopp raced through the village like a shooting star, leaving a trail of astonishment in his wake. His sprint brought him within the group's view. Nami and the rest of the Usopp pirates watched as their captain ran with haste. "That's the captain!" the trio of young boys exclaimed in unison, while Zoro curiously remarked, "Wasn't Luffy with him?" Nami pondered aloud, "Is he still mad at the butler for looking down on his dad?" "Who knows?" Zoro mused, his thoughts drifting like the wisps of clouds in the sky. But the observations of the young pirates continued, their voices full of urgency. "No, his expression is different," Ninjin exclaimed, while P-Man added, "Something must have happened at the shore." "He's panicking. What happened?" Tamanegi questioned. Zoro's gaze shifted to the young Usopp pirates. "Hey, kids, how do I get to the shore?" he inquired. The urgency in their voices escalated. "I think something bad has happened." "Right. That hypnotist went that way too a while ago. Usopp's pirate group is moving." Impatience edged into Zoro's voice. "Are you guys done? How do I get there?" As Usopp's feet pounded the ground, he finally entered the village, his shout ringing out like a clarion call. Bad news, pirates are coming. Pirates are going to attack this village tomorrow morning. Everyone evacuate." Indoors, a chorus of anger and disbelief greeted Usopp's words. "Damn, it's that big fat liar again." Voices of doubt whispered, "It's the second time today. Just ignore him. Pirates won't come." "He's going at it again. He's been doing it a bit too much lately." Another voice joined the fray with irritation, but Usopp's plea was not without impact. Villagers, one by one, grabbed their broomsticks as their resolves hardened against him. They roared with fury, "Hey, Usopp, shut your mouth! We'll teach you a lesson today!" Fear and worry marked Usopp's expression as he tried to clear their understanding. "No, it's the truth this time." But the villagers were unyielding, their frustration palpable. "You say the same thing every time. You're taking advantage of our trust." "I know I joked around before." Usopp's voice trembled with sincerity. "But this time it's the truth. Believe me." A villager's sigh dripped with disgust. "If you were an honest man like Clahador, then maybe I'd believe you." In the depths of Usopp's heart, Kuro's cruel promise resurfaced, that in the end, no one will ever believe him. "That bastard," he thought bitterly, succumbing to a moment of despair. But then, with a surge of willpower, he gathered his strength and let out a cry that echoed through the village. "Please believe me just this once. Run away. Pirates will really be here tomorrow." Meanwhile, a sinister ship lay anchored around the coast of the island. Its dark purple sails fluttered like malevolent shadows against the daylight sky. The Jolly Roger, a feline visage with gleaming eyes, proclaimed its malevolence to the world. Django settled onto the deck as Kuro gathered his crew around him, gratitude gleaming in his eyes. "You guys, thank you for all the help. We haven't met in 3 years. When this plan is through, we'll be rich for the rest of our lives." He then bore a wicked grin as he declares to his crew, "Tomorrow morning we'll destroy this village." The cat-like pirates raised their swords in the unison and rejoiced at their great captain. "Hail to Captain Kuro!" they cheered. At the Grand Mansion, a gentle soul named Kaya sought answers. Her voice was a whisper of concern as she questioned her servant, "Where's Clahador?" The butler, a lamb-like figure, responded with placid grace, explaining, "He said he was going to the nest town." "Oh," Kaya thought, while back at the edge of the shore, Luffy slumbered peacefully with his body slouching against him as he snored. At the grand entrance, her servant held a small rectangular box. "Mistress, the special order you placed in the neighboring town has arrived. Here's the item. Is there anything else that you will need?" he asked. Kaya's eyes lit up with delight as she stepped forward to take the small box from the butler's hands. "Yes, thank you. That's all. I'm so sorry that I had you run all the way over there," she exclaimed with excitement. A soft smile touched the corners of the butler's lips. "You're welcome. I love to be of service," he replied with a gentle nod. "That's a present, right? I'm sure Clahador will be very happy." "Yes," Kaya answered with affection. "Tomorrow marks Clahador's 3rd-year anniversary since he came to this place. He takes such good care of me." In the heart of the village, life unfolded in its everyday rhythm. But today, an undercurrent of unease flowed through the streets like a silent shadow. After hearing Kuro's plan, Usopp stood in the village square, urgently trying to warn the people that he loves. "Everyone, please listen. There are pirates coming. Pirates are really going to attack us tomorrow." Aggressively, the villagers hurtled up against him quickly. Brooms, fists, and spears became their silent weapons as they advanced, as they aggressively marched towards Usopp. "Only an idiot would believe you. We're not going to fall for that crap again. But this time, it's for real," Usopp beckoned. "I'm going to get you this time." The villagers' collective voice rose in anger. Realization dawned onto Usopp's face. "Fine, if you don't believe me." And with those words, he turned and fled the area. "That bastard! He runs so fast!" The villagers contemplated behind him. Perched on the edge of a cliff overlooking the village, a trio of young friends stared wide-eyed at the unfolding chaos below. Their voices merged in a desperate chorus. "Oh my God! They're going to kill Kaya! The village is gonna be attacked! Is that true? Straw Hat Big Brother! Luffy roused from his restful reverie as he sat cross-legged with his arms folded on the ground. Yep, he said with certainty. That's what the guy said. There's no doubt about it. Zoro, Nami, and the young Usopp pirates gathered around Luffy curiously. Zoro's voice broke the silence as he questioned, "Oh yeah, why were you sleeping over there anyway?" Luffy pondered for a moment and then spoke. "I remember I was on top of the cliff." Amidst their conversation, Piman, Ninjin, and Tamanegi erupted into a cacophony of voices, their realization cutting through the air like a blade. "That bastard Butler was a bad guy. No wonder he gave me the creeps, and that hypnotist was a fake as well." Nami's voice broke through, saying, "So that's why your captain ran to the village in such a hurry to warn them. Well, that's good. You guys are the first to know. You should escape while you can. It'll be too late when the pirates get here." With this information, the boys turned to each other, their thoughts racing. "Yeah, then we should run away. Yes, pack up our important stuff, my allowance money and snacks, and my model ship." Their words trailed off as they dashed towards the village, quickly running back in panic. "We gotta hurry!" But Luffy's voice held a note of panic, a realization that cut through the turmoil. "Oh no!" "What now?" Zoro asked. "We haven't bought our meat yet. Even the butcher will soon run away," Luffy exclaimed, realizing that not even his meat is safe from this deadly plan. Amidst the grandeur of the mansion, two imposing guards stood sentinel at the front gate, their stern expressions illuminated by the warm glow of the cloudy sky. Usopp's breath was ragged as he vaulted over the gate, his heart pounding against his ribs like a caged animal. He scanned the surroundings, his eyes darting between shadows, searching for any sign of pursuit. Meanwhile, in her room, Kaya lost herself in the pages of a book. Interrupting this tranquil scene, a series of knocks danced upon Kaya's bedroom window. She jolted up, and as she rushed to the window, her eyes widened at the sight of Usopp's familiar figure. "Usopp! I was worried that you wouldn't come back again," she exclaimed with relief. "Kaya! Hurry! You have to escape, or else you will be killed!" Usopp beckoned as his tone was urgent, and his eyes were gleaming with a gravity that matched the weight of his words. Puzzled, Kaya's brow furrowed. "What are you talking about?" Usopp's words tumbled out over in a desperate rush. "You were lied by that butler. He's actually a pirate," he pleaded. Wait a minute." The mistress stammered. "What are you talking about? How can Clahador be a pirate?" Usopp's voice grew more fervent, his eyes burning with truth. "It's true. I accidentally overheard a conversation that guy had with his comrade," he then shouted. "That butler came to work for you because of your wealth. He became your butler in order to obtain your family's wealth." Kaya's disbelief slowly shifted to a mix of shock and uncertainty. "What are you talking about, Usopp?" Usopp's words tumbled forth like a torrent. "Tomorrow morning, he's going to let his pirate crew to attack our village, and then he's going to come and kill you." Kaya was utterly shocked. "If you don't leave now, it will be too late." "Usopp, I was wrong about you," she spoke out. Usopp was taken aback from her words. As their dialogue unfolded, one of the mansion's guards caught a distant murmur and shared a worried glance with his comrade. "Hey! What's that noise? Go check it out." The second guard's eyes widened. "Shit! It's that kid again!" The exchange continued, emotions swirling. "I can't believe you are doing this to get your revenge on Clahador," Kaya accused. "I know he was a bit harsh on you, talking about your father that way, but—" She then raised her voice. "How can you make up lies about him like that? I can't believe you're this kind of a person. In the past, I always listened to your lies and turned them into hopes and dreams. They made my life fill up with happiness. I really liked the lies you made up. But now you're using it for revenge and using it to harm a good person." It's not like that, Usopp stammered. You're a terrible person, Kaya tearfully cried. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. Usopp beckoned. The doors then burst open as Kaya's servant rushed into the scene. Mistress, what's going on? Suddenly the guards were upon Usopp, gripping his arms. Don't worry, we'll throw this pest out, they declared loyally. Wait, let go of me. I haven't finished talking yet. Usopp's panic rose. Damn it! He twisted around and sank his teeth into a guard's arm, the cry of pain echoing the garden landscapes. Let me go! You morons! Usopp persisted. Kaya's eyes widened in shock as she tearfully held her breath. You little brat! You're asking for it! The guard's companion drew a pistol, rage in his eyes. Usopp's slingshot flashed as he evaded the gunshot, his shot striking the guard's head. As the bodyguard got up from his feet from his bitten hand, Usopp readied his second shot against him. Usopp, stop it! Kaya's voice pleaded, but the shot was fired and the gun slipped from his hand. Chaos reigned as the lamb-like servant's cry pierced the air. What's happening? The guards are... Usopp's voice cut through the chaos, desperate. Kaya, please believe me. Hurry and leave this village before the butler comes back. Tears welled in her eyes. This isn't the Usopp that I used to know. The villagers' angry clamor reached their ears as they managed to reach to the entrance of the estate. Look, there's Usopp. He's at the mansion. Damn, they're here. Usopp's realization was swift. He quickly seized Kaya's hand. Then I'll have to make you come with me by force. Kaya's resistance was fierce. No, let me go. I'm not lying. Everything I've said is the truth. Usopp's plea rang out. Please believe what I'm telling you. At that moment, Kaya slapped Usopp across the face with her hand. The villagers' charge was imminent. Stupid brat! We won't let you get away this time! Kaya's tear-filled eyes held anguish. Look at you. How is it possible for me to believe you like this? The servant's gun was drawn directly towards Usopp's direction, demanding, Get out of here, or else I will shoot you! No, Kaya pleaded, as Usopp turned around and dashed to the outer rim of the mansion. As he ran, the servant fired his pistol behind him. You almost hit him, Kaya pleaded him. But the servant relayed, But he was hurting you, mistress. Usopp is getting away! The villagers marched aggressively. Bastard, stay still! As Usopp ran, blood dripped over his left hand as he firmly tightened it as much as he could. As he ran, he thought to himself, Damn it! Why won't they believe me? He winced in pain. Everybody, he went that way. Don't let him get away. The servant beckoned to the villagers. Hey, stop! Usopp, you're not going to get away! The villagers marched behind him, but he kept running. As Usopp fled the mansion, Kaya dropped against the servant's shoulder. Mistress, are you all right? The servant panicked. The sun retreated beyond the horizon as the sky basked in an orange glow. Usopp's heart weighed heavy with a premonition, as if the very hues of the sky were painting the impending doom he foresaw. Django will attack the village when dawn breaks, he muttered, his words dissolving into the soft evening breeze. Gazing back, tears danced down his cheeks like dewdrops, for he knew the approaching day carried a shadow that even the sunset couldn't chase away. Oi, Captain Usopp! The chorus of young Usopp pirates resounded through the air. Usopp swiftly brushed the tears from his face, mustering a casual grin. Hey! Hi, everybody, he greeted, as Luffy and the rest of the crew closed in on him. Amazement filled Usopp's eyes, and he blurted out, How can you still be alive? Still alive, Luffy mused, a puzzled expression lighting up his features. I just woke up. He was asleep the whole time, Piaman interjected, as he urgently called out, "Captain, we heard about the pirates! We've got to warn everyone!" The weight of the impending calamity pressed down on Usopp's shoulders. He hesitated, his mind dancing between Kaya's skepticism and the villagers' doubts about his tales. A laugh, laced with feigned glee, bubbled from his lips. What pirates? Just like the other times. Of course it was just a lie. I was just having my revenge on that Butler by making up stories about him being a pirate. Luffy, Zoro, and Nami exchanged knowing glances, while the young crewmen's hopeful expressions crumbled into dismay. "What? It was just a lie?" their voices chorused, disappointment tainting the words. "Man, I thought something big was going to happen. Even the Straw Hat Big Brother helped Captain Usopp lie to us." Backlash rained upon Usopp's reputation like a storm of judgment. Ninjin, Paimon, and Tamanegi voiced their disappointment, their words ringing with the harsh tone of betrayal. "Captain shouldn't make up lies just because of this. That's not honorable," Ninjin insisted. "Yeah, I feel the same way," Paimon added, and Tamanegi chimed in with, "No matter how mean that Butler is, Captain, I never thought you would make up lies to hurt others. Let's go home. Yeah, go home and eat dinner. Wonder what's for dinner?" The children's words tumbled over each other as they turned away, leaving Usopp and the three pirates alone. As the young pirates disappeared into the village's embrace, Usopp's gaze lingered on them, a mixture of regret and resolve churning within his heart. Luffy stood there, still questionably puzzled by his actions. The night deepened, stars sparkling like forgotten jewels in the velvety expanse above. Gathered in the shadows, Usopp unraveled his truth to Luffy, Nami, and Zoro. "Because I used to lie all the time. No one believes a word I say now." Nami's voice edged with understanding. "Even so, the fact that those pirates are going to attack is the truth, right?" "They're definitely going to attack in the morning, but no one believes me. They all think tomorrow will just be another peaceful day." Usopp stood proud as he declared, "Since everyone that thinks I'm a liar, I'll protect this village myself and prevent the pirates from attacking. In order to protect the village, then this will just become one of my lies." Luffy, Zoro, and Nami stood in awe, listening to his impassioned pledge. Usopp held his blood-soaking hand. "Although they fired guns at me, and they chased after me with broomsticks, here, in the village where I grew up, I love this village. I want to protect everyone." His voice wavered, the weight of his emotions breaking through his fragile veneer. "How can I just watch everyone get killed?" Zoro let out a sigh. "You are a pretty good guy. You lied to your crew so that you can do this alone." Luffy placed his hand on his shoulder as he flexes his muscles, declaring, "Okay, I'm definitely going to butt in this one." But first things first, all their treasure is mine. Nami's practicality resounded, a touch of levity weaving through the seriousness of the situation. Usopp's confusion was met with a united front as his crewmates pledged to stand by his side to confront the threat that loomed over the village. "You guys are willing to fight with me?" Usopp voiced out his doubts. "Why?" Luffy, holding his grip, didn't hesitate to respond. "Because the enemies outnumber you. You have the words 'I'm scared' written all over your face," Zoro remarks. Pointing to himself, Usopp exclaimed, "Idiots! Me? Scared? So what if they outnumber me? They can't compete with me. I'm Captain Usopp. In my veins flows the blood of a courageous warrior." Upon finishing his declaration, his knees shook in fear. "Stop shaking! Stop it! Stop it!" he demanded, slamming his knees. "What are you guys looking at? They're Captain Kuro's fleet. Of course I'm scared. I don't need your sympathy. Go away, now." Zoro remained calm. "We're not sympathizing for you, but rather we're commending you for having courage." Why else would we risk our own lives? Luffy tightened his teeth. With tears welling up into his eyes, Usopp's voice chocked with emotion. You guys, I'm so touched, he cried proudly. With newfound resolve, Usopp slowly got back onto his feet and began to formulate a plan. He turned to address the trio. They're going to attack from this shore because this is the only way into the village. There's only one slope, and the rest is just cliffs. He pointed upward at the steep climb. This means as long as we guard this slope with our lives, the village won't be harmed. Luffy smiled. Sound easy? Easier said than done. Usopp tempered his enthusiasm down. What are you guys good at? He asked, seeking their strengths in this dire situation. Cutting, stretching, stealing, hiding, Usopp added. You have to fight too, they all barked. Inside the mansion, the servant, who had served Kaya alongside Clahador, looked up from his duties as the butler inquired with curiosity. Where is the mistress? He questioned. The servant paused, his eyes reflecting the fatigue of long hours. She's already asleep, the sheep-like servant replied. Clahador tugged his black tie as he remarked. She looked very tired. I cannot believe all this happened when I was away. That Usopp kid is quite a troublemaker. Yes, I know. I can't believe that he would even claim that you are a pirate. It's not even a good lie. The servant shared the sentiment. With his body facing the window, Kuro palmed his glasses as he formed a sly grin. Yes, only an idiot would believe a thing he says. He then noticed a beautifully wrapped present sitting on a nearby table next to the window. Curiously, he picked it up, studying it carefully. What's this? Kuro inquired. The servant's face lit up with a touch of joy as he announced. Oh, that's a present from the mistress. She said it's because tomorrow will be exactly 3 years since you first came to work at this mansion. She says it's an anniversary. As he unwrapped the box, Kuro pulled out a pair of glasses as he questioned to himself, Anniversary? The servant continued with tears of joy streaming down his face. Because your glasses often slip. So mistress went to the next town personally and ordered this special pair of glasses. She is so nice and caring. She calls it an anniversary, he murmured ominously. Indeed, tomorrow really is a special day. The servant was taken aback as Kuro continued. Tonight's moon, it's Crescent. On a night like this, every cell in my body becomes excited. He dropped the pair of glasses to the floor and instantly smashes them with his striped shoe, sending shards of glass scattering across the ground. What? Clahador, why did you break the present? Mistress went through so much trouble to get it for you, the servant exclaimed with shock and dismay. Kuro looked down, rubbing the destroyed pair of glasses beneath his heel. His voice held a sinister edge as he turned back to face the servant. I will ask her for my own presents, he declared, but it won't be a small present like this. I want everything in this house. As Kuro advanced menacingly towards the servant's fear became clear. Kuro's words hung in the air like a dark omen. There's no need to continue this act, because in just a couple of hours, this village will be overtaken by pirates, Kuro revealed, drawing multiple blades from his concealed weapons. 3 years is way too long. Mistress, run! The servant's desperate cry echoed through the mansion, but it was too late. Kuro struck with deadly precision, slashing the servant's chest. The room bore witness to the brutality of Kuro's actions, as blood stained the luxurious surroundings. On board Kuro's ominous ship, the night was far from peaceful. The crew members, with their cat-like black ears and shrouded in the eerie moonlight, went about their duties. One of the crewmates dared to approach the captain's door and banged on it with urgency. "Captain Django, it's morning already. Time to wake up." With his remarks, the door slammed open as he moonwalked out of his quarters. "Ah, Captain, good morning, good morning." The crewmates greeted him cheerfully, unaware of their timing. Holding on to his trademark hat, Captain Django retorted, "You idiots! It's not morning yet! Don't say good morning! The moon is still out, it's still midnight!" "Yes, sir. Sorry." The crew members hastily corrected themselves, eager to appease their captain. As he was about to walk to his room, he stopped and turned around. "My men." "Morning," Django spoke out. As the current captain of the Kuro Neko pirate fleet, Django left the whole crew with bewildered glances. "Let's go, men!" Django's voice boomed as he posed to the sky. Cheers erupted, echoing across the deck and mingling with the sound of seagulls. The crew raised their fists in loyalty, with their voices joining up for the battle. Meanwhile, at the coastline, Usopp took charge. The group had a vital task to complete, one that could mean the difference between victory and defeat in their battle against impending invaders. He addressed the group with a sense of determination. "Okay, we're done. We've sprayed a massive amount of oil here. Now those bastards won't be able to get up this slope. This is the most effective way to battle them. No matter what, we must guard this slope with our lives." Nami couldn't resist chiming in. "Just don't fall down there yourself, or else you're screwed." Luffy dipped his sandals into the slick liquid, adding with a grin, "Yep, don't worry," Usopp announced with his arms folded. "I have a lot of confidence in myself." Watching the horizon, they watched as the sun started to rise as he continued, "The sun is up. The pirates are going to come soon." As the Black Cat Pirate's grand ship, adorned with its menacing black cat figurehead, reached the coastline, they were met with cheers and enthusiasm. Django, standing tall at the helm, addressed his crew with fervor. "We've reached the shore! Let's go, everybody! Our plan is to destroy the village!" However, an observant crewmate had spotted a something on the shore. "Captain, there are two strange-looking ships over there." Django dismissed the concern with a wave of his hand. "Don't mind them. They wouldn't have treasure anyway." Where Usopp and the others had prepared their oil trap, confusion reigned. The pirates they had expected were nowhere to be seen, and tension filled the air. Luffy couldn't contain his impatience, kicking against the ground as he voiced his frustration. "Where are they? It's already morning." "You don't suppose they slept in?" Zoro shared to them. Nami's ears perked up as he detected distant voices carried by the wind. "Am I just overly sensitive? I can hear 'Go!' coming from the north direction. Go! Go! Go!" The Black Cat pirates boomed. "The north?" Usopp stammered. "I'm positive," Nami confirmed, straining to listen intently. "What's going on?" Zoro demanded. Usopp, now panicked, explained his revelation. "There's another entrance into the village in the north. But don't tell me you got it wrong." Luffy spoke out. "They talked about the plan here. So I thought they'd attack from this side." Usopp panicked. "Hurry, which way are they going to attack the village from?" Luffy exclaimed. Usopp pointed north with desperation. "Going in that direction, it'll only take 3 minutes. The landscape on that side is basically the same as this one. All we have to do is prevent them from coming on top of the slope." "Oh no, that's where we docked our ships. My treasure is going to be robbed," Nami added. In top speed, Luffy dashed ahead of Usopp. "I only need 20 seconds to get there," he told them. "Damn, then our oil trap and preparations are useless," he commented. "Damn it!" Nami shouted. Looking back, Zoro questioned her. "Nami, what are you doing?" Nami tried to follow their lead, but she found herself running against the slippery oil that was left behind. Panic surged through her as she reached out and grabbed onto Zoro's white shirt. "Help! I'm slipping!" With her sudden grab, Zoro slammed himself against the oil, his patience wearing thin, demanding. "Let go, idiot!" "Oops, sorry." Seeing the opportunity, Nami finally managed to regain her footing as she dashed after them. "Thanks," she adds. As she went up, The swordsman slid towards the shore as Nami comments with haste. "Sorry, but my treasure is in danger. You find your own way up? Nami, I'm going to kill you!" With Zoro now drenched in oil, Usopp sprinted towards the approaching pirates. "I won't let them get to the village. That guy runs so fast I lost sight of him already." "Run north! Run north!" Luffy reminded to himself. "If they dare touch my treasure, I will never forgive them," Nami adds. "Go! Go! Go! Don't let anyone live!" the Black Cat pirates declared as they pressed forward to the main village. As the Black Cat pirates advanced against the steep pathway, they were met with an unexpected barrage of pellets. One of their own called out in alarm, "There's someone up on the slope!" Django, taken aback, muttered in disbelief. I'm Captain Usopp. I've been waiting here for you guys. I've made all preparations. If you don't want to die, then retreat at once." He stood proudly. "Damn!" Zoro's frustration reached its peak as he ran against the slippery oil. "I can't get up there." Luffy, reaching the village sooner than expected, stood there in astonishment. "I reached the village? I thought I was running to the North Shore." In his racing thoughts, he couldn't help but wonder, Where the hell is that guy? Wasn't he running ahead of me? A sense of impending trouble washed over him as he realized he was the sole defender against the menacing Black Cat pirates. It was Django who called out, his voice laced with demand. "You're the one who overheard our plans. What do you want?" With his signature goggles firmly in place, Usopp mustered every ounce of confidence and declared boldly, "I'm warning you. Retreat now. I have a 100 million crewmen waiting to kill you all." Only an idiot would fall for that, one of the crewmates remarks with a sigh. However, Django, in utter shock, stammered, "What? 100 million crewmen? So many." "Captain, he's only lying," they warned him. "Don't believe him." Django pondered. Panic gripped Usopp as he muttered aloud, "They saw through my lie." "Do you think we're 2-year-olds?" the Black Cat pirates scoffed. "You bastard! How dare you lie to me?" "Captain Django, good news," a crewmate reported. Django's eyes lit up with anticipation. "What? You found food?" "Not food," the Black Cat pirate continued. "We found treasure on that weird boat over there. It's quite a lot. It's quite a lot. Probably worth around 5 million berries." "What?" 5 million berries, Usopp whispered in awe. "Why would those guys have so much money?" With a new idea, Usopp raised his voice. "That is my treasure, but I can give it to you." Give it to us?" the pirates stammered. "Yes," Usopp insisted. "I will give you the treasure, but you must retreat." "What? Trying to bribe us? We are not as low as you think," the pirates responded, their defiance unwavering. "Idiot," Django remarked. "Of course we're going to take the treasure, but we don't have to retreat." "That sly bastard," Usopp thought to himself, devising a plan on the fly. Django produced a mysterious ring and shared with Usopp, "Look at this. After I say 1, 2, Django, you will let us pass." Usopp realized the hypnotic trick from their previous encounter and watched with alarm as Django began his countdown. 1, 2... "Jang, you idiot!" Nami's voice rang out as she appeared behind Usopp, bashing him on the head with her staff. "Who the heck is that girl? Captain, this isn't the time to let us pass!" the pirates exclaimed. Pointing accusingly at the startled pirates, Nami demanded, "All the treasure on that boat belongs to me. Don't you dare take anything. Put it all back. Do you hear me?" She then turned her gaze to Usopp. "How can you give away someone else's treasure?" "Ouch. You could have just told me," Usopp replied, rubbing his head. Nami retorted, "What are you talking about? I just saved you." "What?" she continued. "Like I said, don't look at his pendulum. He's a hypnotist." Nami's revelation stopped Django in his tracks. With a worried expression, she turned to Usopp and inquired, Where's Luffy? Wasn't he running ahead of you? I don't know. I was running behind him, but he disappeared from my sight so fast, Usopp replied. Maybe he got lost? Damn. At a critical time like this, Nami sighed. Usopp pointed down the slope and said, Now, you charge ahead. I'll cover you from here. Why me? Nami protested. How can I beat them? I'm weak. With his legs shaking, Usopp barked back. Don't think just because I'm a man that I'm stronger. Can't you see that I'm shaking in fear? Look at my legs. I can't even move. I bet you're only lying, Nami retorted sharply. They forgot about us, Django sighed, issuing the order. Everybody charge! Destroy the village! Panic overtook Usopp and Nami as they scrambled to respond. They're coming, she warned him. Oh yeah, I have these spikes. Usopp reached into his bag of gadgets, frantically searching for a solution. Great stuff! Gimme some! Gimme! Nami urged. Get the hell out of our way! The pirates bellowed, their swords raised high. Usopp and Nami retaliated by throwing caltrops at the pirates. This will slow them down! Go to hell! They yelled in unison. Zoro lay on his back, his breath heavy, his clothes smeared with oil from a treacherous slide. His irritation flared as he muttered, Damn Nami, I'm going to teach her a lesson. With a determined grunt, he hauled himself up, gripping his two swords tightly. I can do this, he thought aloud. Using his blades as makeshift climbing tools, he stabbed the ground with his swords repetitively as he made his way past the slippery oil. A triumphant shout escaped him. Made it! Now! Which way is north? Meanwhile, Luffy darted around the island, his head hanging low, shouting, Run north! Run north! Run north! But his wild sprint led him to a summit encircled by dense trees. He spun around, hollering, Which way is north? He exclaimed. Back on the north side of the island, Nami's caltrops proved effective, causing the Black Cat pirates to stumble and cry out in pain as they stepped on the metallic spikes. Good! It works! Nami praised her own craftiness, while Usopp readied his slingshot, declaring, Now for my special attack technique, Bullet! He took aim and took down a few pirates. Good job. Keep up the good work. I'm going to go rest a while, Nami commended Usopp, ready to take a breather. The battle isn't over yet, Usopp retorted. But as Nami turned around, she stood in disbelief. What now? Usopp questioned in the heat of the battle. Nami pointed to the ground. There are spikes behind us too. Annoyed, he retorted, Idiot! You threw those yourself. Suddenly, a Black Cat pirate leaped from behind with a stone-like hammer, shouting menacingly, You're blocking our way! Now die! He swung the hammer against the back of the sniper's head. Bloodied and battered, Usopp collapsed to the ground. The pirates passed by, mocking him. Did you really think you guys could stop us? Let's go! Captain Kuro is waiting for us, they confessed, as they walked past him mockingly. However, Usopp mustered his last ounce of strength and grabbed the pirate who had struck him. You! What do you think you're doing? Nami couldn't help but watch as sweat poured across her face. Let go! You idiot! The pirate exclaimed, raising his hammer once more. I will! Never! Let go! I will not let you go! Because I want the villagers to believe that I'm a liar and the village stay as peaceful as always, Usopp declared, his voice strained. I'm gonna shut you up, another pirate proclaimed, advancing with a sword. But Nami finally intervened, knocking him away with her staff, although she too was thrown against the rocky slope. Usopp attempted to speak, but a pirate pressed his sword against him, sneering, Might as well kill both of them. Hearing this, Django shouted in frustration at his crew. You idiots! Just go attack the village! Did you forget Captain Kuro's plan? We can't mess it up, or else he'll kill us all! Do you hear me, you idiots? To the village! In a panic, The pirates dashed up the slope, leaving Usopp behind. "Wait, you bastards," he tried to say, reaching out to grab one of the fleeing pirates. "Wait, don't attack the village. You're so annoying." The pirate scoffed as he kicked him away and they charged onward. "I beg you, please, please don't kill the villagers." Usopp's desperate plea echoed through the chaos. Suddenly, the Black Cat pirates were sent flying through the air, crashing back down the slope in disarray. "What took you guys so long?" Nami muttered, catching her breath. "What's going on? Captain Django? We didn't know they had these kind of people in the village," one of the pirates exclaimed as Luffy and Zoro finally arrived on the scene. "What took us so long?" Zoro questioned, his resentment clear in his voice. "How should I know? Right now I just want to kick some ass," Luffy added, his anger apparent. "Nami, how dare you kick me?" Zoro shouted at her. "Usopp, you idiot! You didn't even tell me which way north is!" Luffy's frustration boiled over, his voice echoing through the chaotic battlefield. "Who are those guys?" Django clutched his hat questionably, his confusion mirroring that of his defeated crew. On the grand, imposing steps of the mansion, Kuro, a man of calculated authority, sat with impatience etched on his face. "Why are they late?" he muttered, a simmering irritation in his voice. He rose to his feet, clutching his bag tightly, his footsteps heavy as he continued. "Those idiots should know what it means to ruin my plans, and still they dare to be late. If they dare forget about my plans, I will kill them all." On the north side of the island, Luffy and Zoro stood at the top of the slope as Django stood in awe of his defeated men. Usopp couldn't help but comment, "I didn't know you guys were this strong." "Of course," Luffy said confidently. Nami crossed her arms and cut to the chase. "You're late? What took you so long?" Zoro couldn't contain his anger. His teeth clenched as he retorted, "It was you who made me fall down, and now you're blaming me?" "I couldn't help it. Better one person fall down than both of us." "Then you should have been the one to fall," he barked. "You bastard," Luffy interjected. "You just said north. You didn't even tell me which way north is." "It was your fault for running so fast," Usopp responded. "I was just trying to help you." Django took the opportunity to taunt his own crew. "Hey, you idiots! Don't tell me you guys are finished just from one blow from those fools." "Ah, they're still alive. They're pretty tough," Luffy replied. "Listen, we don't have time to waste here," Django revealed. "Since the opponent is strong, we must be stronger." The hypnotist then turned around and swung his pendulum to his men. "Come, look at my pendulum. After I say 1, 2, Django, you guys will become stronger. Your wounds will heal, and you will become much stronger than before." Luffy stared at him curiously. "What's that guy doing?" he questioned. Usopp added his skepticism. "I don't know." "It must be hypnotism. He's trying to make them think they're stronger. This is absurd," Nami concluded. As the pendulum swung back and forth, Django chanted, 1, 2. Django! Suddenly, with a burst of newfound strength, the Black Cat pirates transformed into a frenzied force. Nami couldn't believe her eyes. "No way!" One pirate demonstrated this incredible strength by shattering a nearby cliff wall. As the cliff collapsed, the pirates cheered with their incredible strength. "He crushed the wall!" "How did they gain so much strength?" Zoro replies. Nami voiced the creeping realization. They have really been hypnotized. If just one guy can crush the wall, then that many guys, Usopp adds on. "Go! Kill those pests!" With Django's command to attack, the pirates charged Luffy and the others. Zoro urged Nami and Usopp. "You two hurry and go up the slope. We'll take care of this." "Hey, Luffy!" The swordsman then turned to him in disbelief. "Luffy!" With a loud shout, Luffy raised his arms to the sky and bellowed, "Yeah!" But it seemed that even their fearless leader had succumbed to the hypnotic suggestion. You got hypnotized too? Zoro barked. Witnessing the unfolding chaos, Django stammered for a moment. He's not your average idiot. Got hypnotized so easily, Nami observed. In the grip of a hypnotic rage, Luffy and the Black Cat pirates charged at each other. Luffy unleashed his fury with a powerful attack, shouting, "Gomu! Gomu no! Gatling gun!" Fists flew like a storm, successfully knocking back the pirates in a chaotic frenzy. Usopp was shocked. His arms... As Luffy paused from his Gatling gun for a moment, he then stormed through the pirates as they screamed in panic. With the pirates collapsing on their stomachs, he ran past them and headed to their ship. Luffy hugged the figurehead of their ship, and the pirates collectively wondered, what's he doing? Go, Luffy! Nami cheered, while the pirates, bruised and terrified, the pirates exclaimed, "He's taking off the bow! He's destroying our ship!" With incredible strength, Luffy managed to lift the wooden frame that held the Black Cat figurehead in place and lifted it off the ship. In rage, he looked behind him and carried the wooden framework towards the pirates. "He's trying to kill us!" they yelled in panic. "Captain, help us!" Realizing Luffy's intent, Django quickly pulled out his pendulum once more. "I'll say 1, 2, Django, and you will fall asleep. 1, 2, Django!" In that critical moment, Luffy succumbed to sleep, and the massive ship's figurehead tumbled from his grasp, crushing both pirates and himself, narrowly missing Django. "Damn, kid. Ruined our whole plan. If Captain Kuro sees this, he will kill everybody here." With Luffy's devastating defeat of the Black Cat pirates, Nami and Usopp found a moment to rest. Zoro stood tall on the slope next to them. "I think they're finished now," Nami remarked. Usopp, ever the worrier, observed, "Hey, his head is squashed under the ship bow." "Don't worry, he won't die from that." Zoro reassured him. "First worry about yourself. You're bleeding." "Hey, Bucci, come look! Our ship's head is wrecked!" Bucci replied mysteriously, seemingly from nowhere. "What? Wrecked? How did that happen?" A fallen pirate, battered from his wounds, identified the source of the mysterious voice. "Oh, that voice. It's the ship's guards, the Nayaban brothers." Zoro walked down the slope, sharing. "Looks like there's still something on that ship." "Oh yeah, we still have. Those two," Django confessed. As dawn's first light bathed the tranquil village, Kuro strode purposefully towards the northern coast. His steps were swift, and his bag hung menacingly as he adjusted his glasses with his palm. Hidden behind the gnarled branches of a thick tree, Tamanegi watched with bated breath. The imposing butler from the mansion had ventured out in the early hours, and Tamanegi couldn't help but voice his curiosity to the rustling leaves and the silent dawn with his onion-patterned pajamas still on. "So, it's that damn butler from the mansion. Where's he going so early in the morning?" Tamanegi muttered to himself. The moon hung low in the inky sky, casting an eerie glow over the small coastal village. Usopp stood defiantly with a group of pirates, his hand clenched around the hilt of a menacing sword. "How dare you hit me?" Usopp growled, his voice dripping with menace. "Don't forget, in my veins is the blood of a pirate. You underestimate me. I'm going to kill you all," he declared. Desperation filled the air as he grabbed Kaya's hand, her face twisted in protest. "Usopp, don't do this!" she cried out. "Die!" he bellowed, sending chills down Kaya's spine as she screamed in panic. Kaya awoke with a start, her body drenched in sweat from the haunting nightmare she had just endured. At the mansion, she huffed, sitting up in her ornate bed, clutching the silk sheets to her chest. "I don't understand," she mumbled, her voice barely above a whisper. "Why would Usopp say something like that?" She slipped out of her bed and reached for her warm brown coat, pulling it tightly around her slender frame. Her footsteps were nearly inaudible as she left her room. "Clahador?" she called out, her voice wavering, but there was no response. She ventured through the corridors until eventually she started knocking on the servant's door. "Are you there, Clahador?" Kaya asked, growing more anxious by the moment. Hearing no response, she pushed the door open and gasped as she found the loyal and lamb-like servant lying motionless in a pool of blood. Kaya's heart pounded in her chest as she staggered backward in terror. Tears welled up in her eyes, blurring her vision. Mary!" she cried out with desperation as she ran towards him. She pressed her hand to his blood-soaked back. "What happened? Mary, wake up! You can't die!" Mary stirred, coughing up blood as he slowly regained consciousness. Weak and frail, he struggled to speak. "Mary!" The servant lied on his back as he continues. "Mistress, good, you're safe." "I'm safe," Kaya questioned, her voice quaking. What are you saying?" "Clahador," he gasped. He tried to kill me." Mary welled up in tears. Kaya's eyes widened in disbelief. She recalled Clahador's words, how he felt like leaving her in a poor state would have betrayed her parents. "How? This couldn't be real," Kaya whispered, her tears falling freely now. "He's a pirate," Mary declared, sending shockwaves through the room. A heavy silence hung in the air as Kaya's mind raced, connecting the dots. Then, with sudden clarity, she spoke. "Then yesterday, all that stuff Usopp said was true?" Her voice trembled with realization. "Yes." Thinking back, Mary admitted, his voice heavy with regret. "He alone knew the truth and tried everything to warn us. But none of us, believed anything he said." Kaya remembered Usopp's warning, that tomorrow morning she will know, and that she should have took the opportunity to run. Guilt washed over her like a tidal wave. "We've misunderstood that man's good intentions," Mary continued, his own tears mixing with his blood. "That brave young man, he tried so hard to save this village but was instead chased away. And what have I ever done for him?" She tearfully wept. Mary's condition worsened, and he continued to cough up blood. "Mary," she cried out, "someone, please help. Mary's—" "It's no use," Mary said weakly. "Everyone went on vacation starting yesterday." "Then I'll get some help," she declared, ready to leap into action. But Mary, despite his weakened state, stopped her. "I'm your servant. How can I let you do my duties for me? Also, before everything happens, we need to think calmly and decide what we have to do now." He tried to pick himself up as he crawled over to the wall and leaned against it, continuing. "Just now, I saw Clahador walk out the door. If what Usopp said was true, then he must have gone to the shore to join his comrades. Not only our lives, but the lives of the villagers are also in danger. Clahador's plan is to obtain this house and the wealth, so we should just give it all to him. That way we'll get to keep our lives." "Okay," Kaya wiped her tears away. "Unfortunately," Mary added, "the only one that can stop Clahador now is you. Can you do it? Even though you don't really have to?" "I know," Kaya affirmed him. "I understand. I won't run away. I'm going to talk to Clahador right now." Back in the village, the Usopp pirates gathered at their usual spot next to the weathered wooden fence. "Huh? That Butler went to the shore?" Paimon mused. He and Ninjin listened, their ears perked for any hint of the truth. "Hey, Ninjin, wake up!" Ninjin, resting against the sturdy trunk of a gnarled old tree, shifted lazily and replied, "But normally I'm sleeping this time of day." "Now isn't the time to sleep," Tamanegi urged with worry. "Something awful might be about to happen. I think pirates are really coming to attack the village. I think Captain was lying when he said that it was just a lie." "I think so too," Paimon added, his brows furrowing with concern. "Me too, because he was acting kinda weird yesterday," Ninjin agreed. Just then, their conversation was interrupted by the sight of Miss Kaya in the distance, heading straight towards them, outside of the town's protective borders. She moved with an urgency that struck fear into their hearts. She stumbled, her steps faltering, as if the very earth had turned against her. As they watched, they voiced, "It's Kaya. What's she doing walking out?" "Something must have happened," the three boys murmured. Back at the coast, Zoro stood ready as Luffy slept under the wooden figurehead with the defeated grunts gathered around him. "What's going to come out now?" Zoro questioned, his sharp eyes scanning the horizon. One of the defeated henchmen, battered and bruised, let out a raspy laugh. "You'll all be killed!" "Come down," Django declared aloud, his voice carrying over the clearing. "Nyaban brothers!" Two impressive black cat pirates stood on their mighty ship, perched like twin panthers surveying their prey. They exchanged a few words. "Hey, the captain is calling for us," one urged. "What? They haven't gone to the village yet? Why are they still here?" The other replied. "Hey, look, everyone has been defeated." "That's weird. Let's go down and check," the other pirate replied. "Okay, let's go." With a confident leap, they descended from their ship, landing gracefully on the ground. Django watched them with a wicked smile. "Hello, Nyaban brothers," he greeted. "Captain, you called for us?" Sham inquired. "What's up?" Bucci added. Both being the ship guardians of the Kuroneko's pirate crew, Sham appears to look like a slender giant, who stood at over 6.5 feet tall. His hunched back gave him an odd, almost cat-like appearance, despite his imposing stature. His emerald green hair cascaded in wild curls that framed his face, with two distinct sections hanging down in a way that resembled cat whiskers. His distinctive cat ears protruded from the top of his head. He wore his signature attire, a sleek black vest with a jaunty yellow bow tie, and green shorts. Dark brown gloves perched were on his hands, as the tips of his fingers had sharp claws on them, while Bucci, on the other hand, was a rotund figure with sharp teeth, adding his cat-like ears on top of him. Clad in a costume reminiscent of a black-and-white feline, his chest was completely exposed as we wore a striped, much like a mischievous cat's tail, while a bright yellow sash wound around his ample waist. On his back, he sported a cape with alternating light and dark purple stripes, the fluffy brim giving him an air of regal absurdity. A single shoulder pad on his left arm and a pair of white gloves, each fingertip graced with a claw. Nami, Usopp, and Zoro watched in awe as the Nyaban brothers gracefully descended. "What are they?" Nami pondered aloud. "Wow, jumping from so high. They're like cats," Usopp watched with admiration. "Bucci, Sham, we couldn't pass through this slope because those guys are blocking our way. Now go and destroy them," Django ordered. But the Nyaban brothers seemed reluctant. "What? How can we—" "Bucci, we can't beat them," Sham hesitated. "Yeah, those guys look really strong," Bucci concurred. "What's going on? Aren't they good?" Usopp wondered. "I don't know," Zoro added. "They both seem scared," she sighed. Sham and Bucci shrugged with a mixture of fear and reluctance. "We're just the ship's watchmen." "Yeah, we don't want to participate in these kinds of battles," Bucci added. "Sham, go now," Django demanded with a shout. "Huh? Why me?" Sham panicked. "Go," Django pressed. "Okay, I'm going." Sham reluctantly agreed. "What's going on? Aren't they supposed to be strong?" Nami questioned. "Why are they making those cowards fight?" Sham, with trembling courage, ran towards Zoro, his claws poised in the air. "Prepare to die! My claws are really sharp!" Zoro gripped his katanas tightly. "What can you do to me with those claws? If you don't stop now, I'll attack you." However, at the last second, Sham's demeanor transformed, and he revealed his true intentions. "Just you? You can't kill me." What? Zoro exclaimed as their weapons clashed in a dramatic standoff. You must be thinking that I'm just a coward? I was just pretending to be a coward. If I didn't, then you wouldn't have left your guard down, Sham remarked as he gracefully stepped back from the assault. So he was just acting scared? Usopp commented in awe. Suddenly, Nami noticed something amiss. Zoro, your katanas, huh? Zoro looked down, searching for his beloved swords. But to his shock, they had disappeared. Where did they go? In the next moment, Zoro saw Sham standing proudly, two of his precious katanas attached to his back. You look like you might have a few skills, but you underestimate me, Sham of the Niaban brothers, he smirked. What? Are you missing something? I don't know where they went. There it is, Django remarked with a grin. Cat burglar, Bucci added. That bastard stole my katanas, Zoro thought to himself, his anger burning hotter than ever before. Nami and Usopp stood at a distance, their eyes fixed on the clash that was about to erupt. Nami's voice cut through the tension, a note of concern in her tone. Oh no, that guy took Zoro's katanas, she voiced out. Give me back my katanas, Zoro demanded, resonating in anger. But Sham refused. Give them back? Isn't your katana already in your hand? Sham taunted, his grip tightening on the stolen blades from his back. Oh, right. Before the battle starts, I should get this junk out of the way. With a contemptuous flick, he tossed the swords down the slope, an action that visibly infuriated Zoro. Okay, Sham purred, licking his claws, acknowledging his rage menacingly. Now that's better. In the blink of an eye, Zoro's powerful legs propelled him towards the Black Cat pirate. His voice, determined and fierce, pierced the air. Don't treat others' katanas with disrespect. And in that very instant, Zoro's katana sliced through Sham's body, leaving the onlookers in awe. Wow, powerful, Usopp commented with amazement. Django and Bucci, who had been silently observing the battle, exchanged glances. Bucci, his eyes fixed on the unfolding drama, prepared to enter the fray. It's my turn now, he announced. Zoro, however, was focused on his own predicament. His voice was laden with frustration as he muttered, Damn it, how could he treat my katanas like this? But as Zoro descended the slope in search of his swords, a voice, dripping with arrogance, spoke from behind him. Did you think you actually cut me just now? Sham's voice echoed. Suddenly, Sham leapt onto Zoro's back with his legs crossed as he pinned Zoro's arms down. Too bad. I have a very thin waist, he responded with glee, revealing that Zoro had only succeeded in slicing his shirt. What? Zoro exclaimed with shock. Usopp, the observant one, explained the situation to the group. That guy, he's actually very thin. With a sly grin, Sham declared, Go, Bucci, it's your turn. Okay, got it, Sham, Bucci exclaimed, dashing forward with his claws ready for action. As Sham pinned Zoro down, Bucci leaped into the air. He declared, Cat technique! Bucci's! Look out! Nami shouted. Quickly, Zoro managed to toss Sham aside and barely dodge Bucci's devastating attack, which shattered the ground beneath. Drop kick! Bucci proclaimed, landing a powerful blow from his impact. The ground cracked! Usopp and Nami watched in awe. He's really powerful! Damn! Sham muttered with annoyance. He got away! As the fighters picked themselves up, Bucci barked at his brother. You should hold him down properly, Sham. Sorry, he admitted. He's stronger than I expected. Out of breath, Zoro reflected on the situation in his head. That was close. It'll be no joke if I get hit by him. Even my bones would be shattered. Sham, determined to finish what he started, reassured his brother. This time I won't let him escape. Of course, Bucci accepted. Holding his only sword, Zoro gripped it tightly. I'm not used to fighting with only one katana, but I have no choice. Let's do it, Buchi! Give it to him, Sham! The Nyaban brothers struck at Zoro with a barrage of cat scratches, and Zoro could only defend for now. Cat technique. Scratch, 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 scratch. Oh no, Zoro can't handle them, Nami exclaimed to Usopp. What are you doing? Usopp, with his slingshot at the ready, assessed the situation. He can't counter with two people attacking him. I'm going to help him. With a swift, practiced motion, he let loose his attack. Eat this! Namari Boshi! Zoro, fighting to defend himself against the relentless assault, was momentarily distracted by the incoming projectile. It struck his shoulder, causing him to wince in pain. Seizing the opportunity, Sham said with triumph, "He's distracted." He and Buchi continued their onslaught, scratching relentlessly with their metal claws until it finally managed to penetrate against Zoro's chest. Nami couldn't bear to watch her comrades suffer. "How could you hit him?" she questioned with frustration. Usopp, realizing the sacrifice Zoro had made, exclaimed, "No! No! He deliberately blocked it with his body. He did that! Usopp, idiot! Do you want to die?" Zoro shouted. "Maybe he's trying to protect us," Nami thought aloud. Usopp was taken aback. "If the bullet had hit the enemy, those two might have changed their target and attacked us," she explained. "Then what do you think we can do?" The battle raged on, and Zoro continued to fend off the relentless assault with his lone katana. "That guy, he still has time to think about stuff like that?" Usopp wondered aloud. "Damn, if only I had one more sword," Zoro thought to himself. Nami, determined to turn the tide of the battle, spoke up. "If this goes on, I have to get his katanas back. If I can get Zoro his katanas, he will definitely win." "In that case, let me go," Usopp offered. But Nami was already in motion. She got up and leapt down the cliff with her staff in hand, sprinting towards the two precious katanas. "Hey!" Usopp called out with concern. "What's she doing?" Zoro questioned as he tried to defend their assault. As Nami closed in on the blades, Django moved swiftly to intercept her. "If only I can pass him the katanas." Nami rushed in, determination in her steps. In a swift and calculated move, he slashed her side with his ring, causing her to crumple in pain as she fell to the ground. "Damn him!" Usopp, observing from the sidelines, shared in her frustration. "Even our last glimmer of hope!" Suddenly, a sense of foreboding washed over Django. Fear was evident in his voice as he stammered, I can't explain." Even the Nyaban brothers, who had been fierce just moments ago, were struck to the core. On the slope above, Kuro tugged his glasses down menacingly. Captain, Kuro," the Black Cat pirate stammered in fear. "We're done for." "Oh no, he chose such a bad time to appear," Usopp thought to himself, his voice filled with dread. Kuro's voice, dripping with menace, cut through the chaos. "It has been pretty long since dawn. I was wondering why the plan wasn't carried out," he demanded. "What the hell happened?" Captain Kuro stood there in the eerie silence. His voice dripped with menace as he addressed his former crew, the Kuro Neko pirate fleet. "I didn't expect you to be held up by these kids. The Kuro Neko pirate fleet has been reduced to a truly sad state," he sneered, casting a withering glare. "Isn't that right, Django?" he called out. But, that day, you said that we could let that kid go cause he couldn't affect our plans," Django replied hesitantly. Narrowing his eyes, Kuro held his bag and replied, "Yes, I did say that. So what? He indeed still cannot affect our plans. I expected that he would come after us. I just didn't expect your uselessness. I don't want any more excuses." Buchi and Sham couldn't believe what they were hearing. Sham spoke up defiantly. "You said we're useless?" "Don't look down on us, Captain Kuro," Bucci added. Zoro watched as Sham continued. "Indeed, you were very powerful, but that's in the past." "What are you trying to say?" he questioned. "Hey, shut up! Bucci, Sham!" Django called out, but neither brother paid him any heed. "That was 3 years ago." Sham's voice grew fierce. "You've been pampering yourself in this village, but we've never stopped our attacks." His brother chimed in. "We've attacked quite a lot of villages and sank many ships." As tension hung in the air, Usopp muttered under his breath, "Internal conflict?" Nami, bewildered by the unfolding drama, glanced back at the two rivals. The Nyaban brothers both lunged towards their former captain, making a solemn proclamation. "We won't allow ourselves to be killed for a stupid reason like a failed plan." "You've been inactive for 3 years," Bucci taunted with a dangerous smirk. "Do you think you can still beat us, the Nyaban brothers?" "That's true," mumbled the Black Cat pirates. "If those two gang up, even Captain Django can't beat them. It's a fact that they are our strongest team." Adjusting his glasses, Kuro remained calm as the Nyaban brothers, Bucci and Sham, charged at him with all their might. "You're no longer our captain," they declared. "Instead of being killed by you silently, we might as well kill you first." Their claws slashed at their target with incredible strength. But to everyone's shock, the brothers only scratched his bag as Kuro suddenly stood behind the brothers with his weapons out. He wore black gloves in each hand. With it, it held a long blade on each particular finger. "Who did you say you were going to kill?" he hissed, a sinister grin playing on his lips. Sham and Bucci stammered in fear, unable to comprehend how Kuro had appeared behind them so quickly. "When did he get behind them?" Usopp pondered to himself. The Black Cat pirates gasped in terror. It's the silent step." Meanwhile, Zoro observed with keen interest. "What a weird-looking weapon!" While Nami, on the other hand, watched the scene in utter belief. "He's behind us?" they realized. The Nyaban brothers turned around to face Kuro, but he had vanished once more. "Huh?" they muttered, their eyes wide with disbelief. Disappeared!" Then Kuro reappeared, hanging over their shoulders menacingly with his cat claws at their throats. "You're right. I really don't feel too active," he taunted. "You're also right, that I'm no longer your captain. I am only the client in this plan, a client who will kill if the plan fails." The crewmates watched in awe as Kuro demonstrated his incredible ability. "This is the first time I see the Nyaban brothers get caught." Even though he does have swords on his hands, the Nyaban brothers who can take on Zoro are just like babies in his hands, Nami thought to herself. What are you still hoping for? His silent step is a soundless moving technique, Django explained. Even if he faces 50 assassins, he can still kill them all silently. We can't escape from his plans. Plus, when I met up with him, he sent a shiver down my spine when I saw that he still kept that habit. In order to avoid scratching himself with his cat's claws, he picked up that habit of pushing his glasses up. This proves that he hasn't forgotten how to fight. Kuro slightly penetrated Bucci's throat with the tip of his blade. Ouch! Ouch! After 3 quiet years, it seems that I've become more generous, Kuro stated, his intent clear. I give you 5 minutes. If you can't settle this in 5 minutes, none will escape my wrath. I'll kill all of you. I don't want to die, the grunts cried out. 5 minutes! Damn it! We actually let this guy stay in our village for 3 years, Usopp wondered. With 5 minutes? Django questioned as he quickly composed himself. We can settle this! The hypnotist turned to Zoro. Him! We can finish him off! We can get up the slope! Bucci chimed in. That's right. He was no match for us just now. No problem. We can take care of him in 5 seconds, his brother added. Zoro! Nami called out with a shout. "Your katanas!" With the two swords on the ground, she kicked it towards him. "Stupid girl!" Zoro said with annoyance. "How dare you kick my katanas?" Nami smiled and asked, "So how are you going to repay me?" Zoro grabbed his swords and turned to face his opponents, saying, "Thanks!" With renewed hope burning in their hearts, the Nyaban brothers, Buchi and Sham, launched themselves at their formidable adversary. "Stop dreaming! Even with 3 swords, you're still no match for us!" Buchi's voice rang out with confidence. Zoro's response was swift and laced with his trademark self-assuredness. He clenched one of his swords between his teeth, his eyes narrowing in a steely glare. "You don't know the difference between using 3 swords and using 3-sword style." The Black Cat pirates, watching from the sidelines, their lives hanging in the balance, erupted in a chorus of cheers. "Nyaban brothers, we're counting on you. Finish them off within 5 minutes." Zoro tightened 2 of his swords behind his back, with the third still firmly clutched in his mouth. With an air of unwavering determination, he proclaimed, "Tora! Gari!" As the Nyaban brothers collided against Zoro, both Sham and Buchi's stomachs were precisely cut, and they fell to the ground, defeated and broken. With only 1 slash. The Nyaban brothers are... The pirates marveled at the sheer power of his swordsmanship. Zoro, victorious, pointed his sword at Kuro. His voice dripped with pride as he declared, "Don't worry. Within 5 minutes, I'll kill all of you, with no exceptions." "Let's see you try it," Kuro said with pride, as he stared him down menacingly. Yet, to everyone's shock, Buchi, despite his grievous wounds, refused to succumb. He crawled toward the hypnotist, Captain Django, with a burning rage in his eyes. "That guy, damn him! I will kill him!" He begged Django desperately. Captain Django, hypnotize me!" Kuro observed the situation calmly. "He's still alive. You were too nice," he remarked. Zoro, meanwhile, pondered the mystery. "Must be because his blubber is too thick," he thought to himself, wondering what would happen next as he observed Buchi's unprecedented, enraged fighting spirit. It's hypnotism again?" Zoro's realization cut through the tension. "This guy's troublesome. He could crack the ground so easily before... What will happen after he's powered up?" he wondered. In the midst of this chaos, Captain Django's attention was suddenly drawn to something behind him. He spotted Nami racing toward the collapsed figurehead of their ship. Nami's thoughts raced as she approached Luffy. "This is my chance. I have to go and wake him up. Really? How can he still be sleeping when we're in grave danger?" Captain Django, however, had other plans. His voice was cold and threatening as he hurled a metallic disc toward her. "What do you think you're doing, sly little girl? Die!" Nami ran, her heart pounding, and got closer to Luffy. Her frustration was palpable as she scolded him. "Everyone is fighting with wounds, and this guy just sleeps. Wake up!" she demanded. With the heel of her boot, she kicked Luffy, who remained in blissful slumber, until he felt a sudden heavy impact on his rubbery cheek. "Nami! Look out! Duck!" Zoro warned her. Startled, she turned her gaze toward the oncoming threat, only to see a metallic projectile hurtling straight towards her. Nami, in her desperation to awaken Luffy, stepped her heel onto his face, causing him to yelp in pain. "Ouch! I'll split you into 2, Captain Django declared. Nami turned back in horror, only to see a deadly projectile hurtling toward her. Usopp cried out in terror. "That's a blade, not just an ordinary pendulum for hypnotism." Just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Luffy, who had been jolted awake by the chaos, sprang to his feet. His voice reverberated with anger. "Was that you, Nami? How dare you step on my face?" As the sharp disc flew, it landed on the back of Luffy's head, stabbing into his flesh. "Luffy!" she cried out. "Huh! That kid is still alive!" Django said with realization. He woke up, Zoro remarked. At the wrong time, or should I say, the right time. It's him, the butler pondered. I thought he fell off the cliff and died. Luffy's indomitable spirit prevented the deadly ring from cutting deep into his skull. He stomped his feet hard against the ground, leaving Django in disbelief. Impossible! He's still standing! The Black Cat pirates, once filled with confidence, now watched in terror as Luffy removed the ring from his head, seemingly unfazed by the ordeal. He's really something, Zoro pondered. That kid has been revived. That hurts, Luffy yelled in pain, clutching the back of his head. We're doomed, the Black Cat pirates realized. Now it will be impossible to finish them off in 5 minutes. That really hurts, Luffy yelled at Nami. It wasn't me. But Nami collapsed as she noticed her bleeding shoulder. Your shoulder's injured? He questioned. I'm all right, Nami replied. I've done my best. The rest is up to you. This is a battle that we definitely cannot lose. I'm doing it for the treasure, she reassured herself. Luffy frowned. Treasure shouldn't matter. That's just your character. He gazed up the slope where Kuro stood. Huh, even the evil butler is here. Kuro looked at them as he remarked, in 3 more minutes, all of you will be dead. What? There's no hope left. The Black Cat pirates panicked. Even though we have Captain Django and Bucci, but only 3 more minutes, how can we finish off these people? Bucci! We don't have any more time! You go and kill the guy with the stomach band! Django demanded as he continued. I'll deal with the Straw Hat Kid. But suddenly from behind Kuro, a voice shouted, Clahador! Stop it! All eyes turned to Mistress Kaya, who stood firm, despite her trembling form. Horrified, Usopp exclaimed, Kaya, why? Why are you here? Oh, isn't that the mistress of the mansion? Django said with worry. She's the target of the mission. Then we don't have to go to the village. The pirates began to murmur between themselves. If we can just kill her now. Kuro turned to Kaya, adjusting his glasses. You surprised me, mistress. What are you doing here? Mary told me everything, Kaya replied. Oh, he didn't die? Kuro mused. I didn't show any mercy to him. No, he really isn't the Clahador I know, Kaya thought to herself. I'm really sorry, Usopp, she remarked with regret. Maybe you can't forgive me so easily, but I really can't believe that Clahador is a pirate. Never mind that. Why are you here? Usopp pressed. Didn't I tell you to run away? These pirates are after your life. Aren't you fighting as well? She retorted as she apologized. We treated you so badly, and yet you're here, fighting, even with those wounds. We're different, he continued with desperation. I'm a brave warrior of Clahador. If you want my money, I will give it all to you. Kaya's voice rang out, cutting through Usopp's words. Please, leave this village. But Kuro, the man who had posed as Clahador for years, gazed upon her with his cold and calculating eyes. You're wrong, mistress. It's not only money that I'm after. I also want peace of mind. I spent 3 years here to gain the villagers' trust. I feel at peace here. Only when I have obtained peace and money will my plans be complete. That's why having my crew attack the village and making you leave a will at your death is essential. Kaya was in complete shock. The truth about the man she had trusted for so long was like a cruel dagger thrust into her heart. Usopp, desperate to protect her, shouted, Kaya, run! Don't bother negotiating with him. He's no longer the butler you knew. Ignoring his pleas, Kaya pulled out a pistol and pointed it at Kuro. A pistol, the pirates wondered. With a loud and demanding voice, she declared, Leave this village! Kuro opened his arms as he shares with her, So, you've become stronger in these years. Do you still remember? A lot has happened in the last 3 years since your parents passed away. We've been together for quite some time. We took boat rides together, went to town together. When you're down with a fever, I always stayed by you to take care of you. We've shared our troubles and our joy. I've served you tirelessly. I suffered taking care of this nosy little mistress. I suffered waiting for so long. All this is so that I can kill you today. Bastard, Usopp said aggressively. Tears streamed down Kaya's face as her hands started to shake, and she dropped the gun to the ground. Kuro continued. I was captain in the past, and I had to serve such a young, naive little girl obsequiously, deliberately to make her like me. Can you understand how demeaning my days have been? Unable to contain his anger, Usopp charged at the butler in full force, ready for a punch. Usopp, now that I think of it, But the butler effortlessly dodged his attack in a flash. Kuro's voice oozed with venom as he continued. Still haven't thanked you for that punch you gave me last time. You hit me really hard. Before Kuro could land a blow, Luffy intervened, unleashing a powerful punch that sent Kuro sprawling to the ground. What? What? Django exclaimed. Captain Kuro got knocked down? As Luffy stretches his arm back, he solemnly declares, If you really hate being hit, I must make sure I hit you a few hundred more times. What happened? How did he knock Captain Kuro down? The Black Cat pirates were amazed. From that position? Kuro, lying on the ground, showed no signs of movement. The butler, aghast at the turn of events, shot Luffy an annoyed glare through his shattered glasses. Captain Kuro's really angry now. His former crew panicked. What are we gonna do? Suddenly, a chorus of voices rang out, seemingly from nowhere, exclaiming, Here's our chance! Django, Usopp, and Kaya turned in shock to see the Usopp pirates wielding makeshift weapons. Here comes Usopp's pirate group, Ninjin declared. Die, you bastard, Pia-Man added. You ingrate butler! Tamanegi finished. Usopp stood in disbelief. How did you all— You can't come here, Kaya warned them. But the three boys pressed on and slammed their improvised weapons onto the butler's head. Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! You damn pirate, trying to disrupt the peace of our village! Die, bastard! Amid the commotion, Django struggled to contain his anger, while the Black Cat pirates waved their arms in fear, questioning, What the hell are those kids doing? Stop it, all of you, Usopp pleaded. Stop it! As the Black Cat pirates continued to be baffled by the unexpected assault, Zoro couldn't help but wonder, what are those kids trying to do? As Kuro laid battered on the ground, Ninjin spoke out, Okay, we'll have mercy on him. Our captain was really fighting. Why didn't you tell us? That's disloyal. Wrong. It should be dishonest. It doesn't matter if it's disloyal or dishonest. Just get out of here, he pleaded. Run away. But the three boys clung to their weapons as they persisted. We won't leave you, Captain. Yeah, we want to fight too. If we run, we'll ruin the reputation of the Usopp pirate group. Out of nowhere, the butler vanished and appeared behind the three boys unscathed. Tugging his glasses, the glasses dispersed from its frame as it fell to the ground. The ominous aura of Kuro's presence sent shivers down the spines of the young pirates, who now screamed in fear. Idiots, run! Usopp desperately yelled. What? What? Didn't he see us? They pondered as Kuro suddenly walked up to Usopp and kicked him down the slope. Captain? Ignoring Usopp, he turned to Luffy curiously. I'm a bit curious. That was quite an odd attack you just used. Looks like you possess the power of the devil fruit. Yup, I ate a gum-gum fruit, Luffy replied with pride, and I've become a rubber man. What? Devil fruit? The grunts remarked. This is bad. You mean it actually exists? No wonder that guy's so weird. Django, still in disbelief, mused. So, Rubber Man, then the stretched arm wasn't an illusion, but he can still stand up after getting hit on the head by my blade. That's incredible. Django! Kuro called out. Yes! Yes! I will take care of this kid. Kuro continued, deadly. You take care of Mistress Kaya, make her write her will, and then kill her. And also, those 3 puny ants, they irritate me. Got it. Django tilted his hat. Despite Kuro's orders, Zoro stood defiantly, blocking Django's path to Kaya in the middle of the slope. Stop! I won't let you get through me, he declared. Django, with a single demand, called out to Bucci, who leaped into the air with rage. Cat technique! Oh no, that again? Zoro thought, narrowly avoiding the devastating attack. Flying drop kick! Bucci's impact shattered the earth, creating a massive earthquake that reverberated through the ground and shattered nearby cliffs. The ground cracked! The boys looked in horror. Damn! He's even more powerful than before, Zoro contemplated heavily. Idiot! He can't control his own strength, Kuro sighed. Witnessing the brutal impact, Luffy was awestruck. So powerful! Who is he? With cat-like agility, Bucci slammed his clawed hands against Zoro, pushing him forcefully against the rocky walls of the slope. But Zoro wasn't one to be easily overpowered. With a swift and calculated move, he deflected Bucci's claws with one of his blades while simultaneously planting his foot squarely on Bucci's face, halting the onslaught. You lost to me before, Zoro told him. With a heavy push from his leg, he pushed away, retorting, Don't get in my way. Meanwhile, Usopp, despite his dizziness, refused to yield. Damn. I feel dizzy. I can't get up. But I must top the enemies. Oh no! Django, intent on his mission, marched past Zoro, who remained blocked by Bucci. Usopp could only watch, helpless and rooted to the spot. Usopp Pirate Group, he shouted. Yes, Captain? I told you. We won't run, Ninjin retorted. Captain, you're badly injured. We can't just run away. Piaman held his baseball bat. We will destroy your enemies, Tamanegi declared. With the weight of the situation pressing on him, Usopp, still on the ground, issued a solemn command. Protect Kaya. I'm giving you the most important task. Take Kaya away from here safely. You mustn't refuse. This is the captain's order. Yes! Yes, Captain! The boys shouted as they retreated, making their escape. Idiots! You can't escape. Zoro couldn't help but think. He puts it nicely, but basically he's just telling them to run away. With Paimon leading Kaya away, the boys fled deeper into the woods. But their flight was short-lived, as Django, spinning his metal discs, prepared to pursue them. Where can you run to? Django sneered. Special technique, Namari Boshi. But before he could give chase, Usopp fired his slingshot, hitting Django's back and thwarting his pursuit. Usopp couldn't help but smirk. Serves you right. You bastard! Django, quick, after them, Kuro demanded. Kaya, this way! The boys urged the mistress further into the woods. Kuro looked back at his remaining adversaries on the slope and taunted, It's no use. I know very well how weak Kaya is. They'll never be able to outrun Django. If you want to help them, you can go. That is, if you can get through this slope alive. Damn! Usopp struggled to get to his feet. This situation's really bad. Usopp! They called out, but both Luffy and Zoro stepped forward, ready to face the challenge. Leave this to us. In the heart of the dense forest, the Usopp pirates hurriedly led Kaya deeper into the shadows of towering trees. Pimon's voice trembled as he questioned the others. Is the hypnotist still after us? No, I don't see him. Maybe we've lost him, his companion replied. "He must be dreaming if he thinks he can catch us in this forest." Looking up at Kaya, Tamanegi reassured her. "Don't worry, Kaya. We'll protect you." Piemon joined in. "That's right, in the name of the Usopp pirate group." Kaya, still trembling, held her beating chest and softly agreed, "Yes. Thank you." Just as a false sense of security settled over them, Django's menacing ring came hurtling through the trees nearby. It missed them by a hair's breadth, however. It was perfectly cut down to the ground with ease. "What?" they exclaimed in unison. "Not here." In the distance, Django played with his weapons as his voice echoed, "Brats! Where are you? Don't think you can get away!" Panic gripped the group as they realized the hypnotist was relentless. "He's coming!" Piemon couldn't hide his terror. "What? I thought he was just a normal hypnotist!" Holding his hat, Django said to himself, declaring, "If that's the case, I'll just have to clear the whole damn forest." Back at the coastline, the commotion had not gone unnoticed. "What was that noise?" Usopp questioned. In a cold voice, Kuro spoke out. "Well, that's probably just Django losing his temper. You can see for yourself, but you will probably be too late. We'd better hurry." "Can you?" he questioned. Trying to pick himself up, Usopp shouted, "Damn, you two have stayed together for 3 years. Don't you have any feelings for her?" Kuro's callousness revealed his true nature. "No. As I've said before, Kaya is just a pawn in my plan, and if she dies, I might actually thank her." "This guy's beyond saving," Zoro retorts, while Luffy's flared his nose aggressively. "I never thought of saving him." Usopp, though injured and unable to move, declared, "I can't let you do whatever you want!" Pushing through, he charged up the steep slope, his heart pounding with the urgency of his mission. "Must go and save them! Otherwise, they'll all be killed! There's not a second to lose!" he thought to himself. Kuro looked at him with a mocking grin. "Oh, you can still move! Impressive! Buchi!" As Usopp sprinted, the enraged Buchi dashed towards him with his white claws menacingly raised. However, Zoro intercepted the threat, holding one of his blades against Buchi's neck. "Don't get in the way! We're in a hurry!" Zoro warned, forcing Buchi to the ground with his second sword in a chokehold. "You've messed around enough. I won't kill you if you just lie down quietly." Trying his best, he suddenly crumpled to the ground. "Usopp!" Luffy called out. In his best effort, Usopp replied, "Damn! Damn it! I can't move my body!" Kuro couldn't help but laugh at Usopp's predicament. "You're a joke. It's probably safer for you to lie down here anyway. Even if you can catch up with Django, you're still no match for him." But he refused to give up. With tears welling in his eyes, he boldly remarks, "Even if I'm no match for him, I'll still protect them. I will protect them." "Huh? Usopp?" With a sudden burst of rage, Buchi pushed forward and slammed Zoro against the rocky walls of the slope. Struggling to get up, Usopp declared, "I'm the captain of Usopp Pirate Group. I'm a brave warrior of the sea. I won't let you hurt the villagers." The other pirates mocked Usopp, their laughter cutting through the tense air. "Look at him, shouting out loud in a weird style like that." So pathetic. As the Black Cat pirates reveled in their cruelty, a massive boulder suddenly crashed down upon them, drowning their laughter in a cacophonous roar of screams. Luffy glared back menacingly. "If you dare laugh at Usopp again, I will kill you all." The pirates couldn't help but hold in their fears. Pouncing on Zoro, Buchi rushed towards him once more, but the swordsman held him at bay with his 3 swords. "Hey! Nekobuchi, you moron! I thought I already warned you, don't get in the way," Zoro declared. "Out of the way!" Seeing the opportunity, the swordsman cuts him down in an instant, piercing deeply across his chest. Kuro calmly adjusted his glasses, watching as Zoro finally made the finishing strike against Buchi, ending the conflict. The Black Cat pirates were in shock. Even the hypnotized Bucci was... "Luffy, I'm gonna take Usopp and go after that bastard hypnotist," he said. As he sheathed his swords back, he picked up Usopp across his shoulder as he questions, "Do you have any problem with that?" "Nope, go quickly," Luffy replied. Kuro looked down from the slope as Zoro and Usopp moved up, his calculating gaze following their every step. "Sorry," Usopp told him. Zoro contemplated for a moment. "It would actually be faster if I go alone, but we're going into the woods, and if you don't guide me, I won't be able to find them." "Hey you," Kuro said, addressing the pair. "Who said you could get through me?" "I did!" Luffy's voice thundered as he stretched his arm in a punch towards the butler. "Go, Zoro! Go, Usopp!" But Kuro proved to be too elusive, gracefully evading Luffy's attacks. "Another punch!" Luffy's frustration mounted as his strikes hit nothing but air. "He disappeared!" Kuro seized the opportunity and struck Luffy from behind. However, the rubbery young pirate dodged close to the ground and unleashed a bold counterattack with his legs. "Gomu! Gomu, no! Spear!" Lunging forward, Luffy aimed to strike Kuro down, but he vanished once more. "Damn! Disappeared again!" Kuro observed Luffy's determination with a certain intrigue. "Never mind, they already got up the slope. That kid! He actually dares to challenge Captain Kuro!" The pirate stammered from below. Taking his time, Kuro decided to engage in a brief conversation with Luffy. "Before we fight, I want to ask you one question. You're a stranger here. Why are you getting so involved with this village?" Luffy's answer was simple. "I have a friend in this village that I don't want to see dead!" As Zoro and Usopp ventured deeper into the forest, their voices echoed through the trees. "East! East! I told you go east! How am I supposed to know which side is east? Just say left or right," Zoro grumbled. "Then turn around and go right." "You mean go back?" he retorts. Kuro couldn't help but remark, "What a simple reason. Are you really okay with it? After all, it'll be your reason for dying." "That's okay," Luffy answered with confidence. "I'm not gonna die anyway." In the heart of the dense forest, the air hung heavy with the acrid scent of upturned earth and shattered trees. Django scanned the fallen timber with a pair of discs in his hands. "Where'd they go?" he pondered, his hands pressed to his ears. Further ahead, Kaya couldn't help but gasp as she succumbed to the torment of her illness. With a trembling sigh, she fell to the ground, aching and helpless. "Kaya!" "I'm sorry. You boys, keep going ahead," Kaya said weakly. "What are you saying? We are here to protect you, Kaya!" Nin Jin, one of the boys, protested vehemently. Kaya's head throbbed crimson with the intensity of her ailment. Her vision blurred as the boys continued to press her, their voices merging into a desperate chorus. "Oh no! She looks really sick!" "What? Hang in there, Kaya! We must take her to the doctor!" Tamanegi exclaimed, his concern deepening. "Idiot! We're running for our lives now!" Paimon shouted, his eyes darting around for any sign of danger. "But it's too dangerous to let her go on." Tamanegi, torn between duty and friendship, looked back at Kaya, his heart heavy with worry. Paimon then turned to his comrades with a commanding voice. "All right then, we'll have to make a decision, Usopp Pirate Group." "Okay, we're gonna fight," the boys agreed. "There you are." Django's voice cut through the tension like a blade. The three boys turned to face him, their expressions a mix of shock and fear. Luffy and Kuro, two formidable adversaries, stood on the precipice of a fierce battle. The tension in the air was still as they prepared to clash. With a malevolent grin, Kuro dashed forward with his arms wide open. "Die!" he hissed with venom. Reacting to his response, Luffy braced his arms behind his back. "No way!" he retorted. Below, the restless pirates watched with bated breath, murmuring their anticipation. "They started," they whispered, as Luffy's arms stretched out like rubber bands. He seized both of Kuro's arms in a vice-like grip. With a powerful lunge, he sprang from the ground, his legs poised for a devastating assault. Seeing the attack, the butler swiftly swung his arms in a deadly circle, catching his opponent off guard. He twirled his body mid-air and tumbled him back to the ground. But Luffy, undeterred, swiftly regained his footing and prepared his leg for another strike. "Gomu! Gomu no! Leg sweeper!" he cried out as his leg extended dangerously towards Kuro. With an acrobatic leap, Kuro managed to avoid the sweeping leg. "And pistol!" he continued, reaching out for a punch. Just as the fist almost reached his face, he vanished, leaving the pirates below awestruck. He dodged it, and he's standing on his stretched arm, they stammered with disbelief. Standing on his arm, Kuro's cold demeanor remained unshaken. "This is so boring I'm beginning to feel sleepy," he remarked with a nonchalant air. "You bastard!" Luffy's anger flared, and the tension in the air crackled with intensity. Quick as lightning, Kuro dashed headlong towards Luffy, running on top of his stretched arm. As he closed in, Kuro delivered a swift kick with his striped shoes, causing Luffy to tumble and cry out in pain. "Ouch, ouch!" That Straw Hat Kid was so scary and strong. "That's our Captain Kuro!" the pirates exclaimed. With dogged determination, Luffy picked himself up, his eyes fixed on the butler. He spat a bit of blood to the side. "You made me bleed. Kill him! Go Captain Kuro!" The Black Cat pirates roared their support, chanting their captain's name fervently. "Captain Kuro! Captain Kuro!" But Kuro's response was far from what they expected. "Don't call me using that name!" he demanded with frustration. The pirates fell silent, stunned by their captain's outburst. Luffy couldn't help but question Kuro's motive. "You still don't understand? The real purpose of this plan is to eliminate the name Captain Kuro forever," the butler explained with a chilling finality. "I'm sick and tired of making plans for you reckless morons. As my name became more and more notorious, the government's Marines and professional bounty hunters kept coming after me, and that really started to annoy me. That's why, on that day, 3 years ago, I decided to kill myself." The revelation sent shockwaves through the ranks of the Black Cat pirates. That day, they muttered in disbelief. "It's that incident." On board his ship, a voice broke the silence. "First Mate Django." "What is it?" Django inquired. "Captain Kuro is looking for you." Entering the captain's quarters, Kuro, the man with 100 plans, reclined on his wooden bed, engrossed in a book. "Django, I want to leave the ship." "Huh? What are you talking about?" Django couldn't believe it. "But this is your ship, and you're the captain." Kuro, clad in a black and golden coat, sat on the bed's edge, stating, "You can be the next captain. I don't think I'm suited for a pirate's life. I'm sick of this chaotic lifestyle." Suddenly, a clamor erupted on the deck. "Captain Kuro! Captain Kuro! A marine ship is spotted to the north. Again? This is the 3rd time this week. What? They're firing at us." Kuro pointed out. "See? They've come again." Django, wearing an orange singlet, responded, "We don't have a choice. We're doing things that get us hunted. Because of that, you've become notorious." "Yes. It's the name that draws them here," Kuro replied. "That's why I decided not to be Captain Kuro anymore." But Django shrugged it off. "Stop kidding yourself. You'll be hunted down by the government all your life until you're dead." "Then I will die and make myself disappear from the face of the earth," he declared. As Kuro and Django strolled on deck, a crew member asked, "Captain Kuro, what do we do about the Marines? Should we blast them with the cannons?" Kuro responded, "No, get me a small boat." "Huh? A boat?" In his small paddle boat, Kuro sailed toward the imposing marine ship nearby as it fired cannonballs at him. On board, his crew wondered about his intentions. The captain left, all by himself. What is he doing? He's heading to the Marines alone. Is he trying to turn himself in? As Kuro silently approached the Marine ship, they pondered his absence. They've stopped attacking, and there's no movement over there. Maybe they killed the captain, someone suggested. Growing anxious, one of the pirates took command. "Steer the boat over, man the cannons, everyone prepare for battle." With swords raised high, they approached the Marine ship. However, when they boarded the enemy vessel, they discovered a gruesome sight. All the Marines are dead. On the ship, Kuro perched himself onto the ship's edge as he had single-handedly killed all the Marines. Captain Kuro adjusted his glasses and told them in a chilling tone, "Okay, let's start the plan." Sham and Bucci, two of his crew, watched in awe and fear. "Even though he's our captain, his power still brings shivers down my spine," Sham remarked. "Yeah," Bucci added. "The opponents were well-trained Marines." To Kuro's amazement, a blonde Marine with a broken jaw attempted to speak softly, but nothing came out. Approaching the soldier, he stepped on his mouth. "Oh, you're not dead yet. You've got quite a nice face." Lying on the deck, the young Morgan spoke defiantly. "I won't beg for my life. If you want to kill me, then do it now. Your jaw is broken, yet you still can say such crap," Kuro said with a sinister smile. "I shall reward you with the head of the 100 Plans Kuro." To execute his cunning plan, Kuro's first mate, Django, began to dress up a crew member to look like Kuro. Django used his hypnotic pendulum, saying, "Your name is Captain Kuro. This tragedy was caused by you. 1, 2, Django." Tied up against the main mast, the crewmate replied, "I am Captain Kuro. This tragedy was caused by me. I am Captain Kuro." Django then turned to the Marine soldier, Morgan, and hypnotized him. "And you're the man who captured Captain Kuro. Take him back to your base and have him executed. 1, 2, Django." The pair sailed away as Kuro and his men watched them leave with a smile. "This is a perfect plan," Kuro said. "Once the fake one is executed, Captain Kuro will disappear from this world." "I'm the man who captured Captain Kuro." Django looked at the sea. The first mate's hypnotized himself again, the crewmates contemplated. "What happened that day has been essential for today's plan to be successful. My plan can only be complete when I have obtained wealth and peace. Do you understand now, kid? I've spent 3 years doing this plan. It cannot fail." The butler's metallic cat claws gleamed ominously, ready to strike at any moment. With a defiant spirit, Kuro pounced at Luffy. "I can't let you disrupt my plans." In a split second, Luffy's quick thinking came to the forefront. His muscles tensed as he summoned his strength and grabbed a large chunk of rock from the slope, blocking it from Kuro's cat claws. "So, it seems you can do more than just stretch," the butler examined. With a triumphant grin, Luffy retorted, "That's right. I've been training to become a pirate." He then turned with the rock with his hands and snapped the claw's blades. The pirates, mere spectators on the sideline, couldn't help but gasp in shock. "The cat's claws are broken!" they exclaimed. Kuro's face contorted with rage, his grand plan unraveling before his very eyes. Luffy, seizing the moment, raised his voice with unwavering resolve. "You said that you're sick and tired? If you're afraid of your name being known—" He brought the heavy rock down upon Kuro, who was momentarily stunned, continuing, "Then how can you be a pirate?" With his impact, he slammed the boulder onto his head. With his heart pounding, Luffy pressed on. "My dreams are far greater than your plans." "Now you only have 5 of those weird claws left," Luffy taunted, dropping a colossal boulder to emphasize his point. The pirates who had been observing the fierce battle from a distance couldn't help but murmur among themselves. That kid! Captain Kuro's cat claws were— With blood dripping down his face, Kuro suddenly spoke silently. The pirates below encouraged him, pointing at their fallen captain. "Captain Kuro! You still have one hand of cat's claws left. Kill the kid!" But one of the pirates, perhaps a little more considerate, chimed in. "Hey, don't call him Captain Kuro." Another added, "His name in the village is Clahador, something." "Okay then," a third pirate suggested. "We should call him Claha." "Claha! Kill him!" they chorused. Kuro struggled to his feet, challenged. "Shut up. After this is done, all of you must die. And Django is no exception." Luffy couldn't help but question him. "What?" they bellowed. "Why do we have to die too?" Deep in the dense forest, the atmosphere was laden with tension between Django and his young captive, Kaya. The hypnotist, his heart-shaped glasses gleaming with an unsettling intensity, urged the girl to submit to his will. "Open your eyes, little girl," he demanded. With her eyes firmly shut, Kaya remained defiant. "No, I won't let you hypnotize me. I won't write the will." She looked away. Unbeknownst to Django, the three Usopp pirates lay still as if slumbering on the forest floor. Frustration welled up in Django, and he pressed his hands against her face, ready to resort to force. "If that's the case, I'll have to open them by force." Kaya's piercing scream filled the air as he attempted to pry her eyes open. However, before he could succeed, the Usopp pirates sprang into action, seizing their opportunity. "Here's our chance!" one of the boys exclaimed. "Blind Pepper!" Tamanegi added as he hurled pepper into Django's eyes. Sneezing violently from the black powder, Django fell to the ground, trying to rub the irritant away. But the young pirates were relentless in their attack. Paimon, one step ahead, wielded his baseball bat with a resounding smack against the hypnotist's groin. "And another!" P-Man shouted triumphantly. "Oh, Mother!" Django cried out in agony, struggling to recover from the painful blow. "Boys," she said with joy, "we were only pretending to be hypnotized," they shared, "as if we would fall for the same trick twice. Prepare for the next battle plan." Django, still writhing in pain, attempted to close the distance between them. "Damn kids, where did they hide? The girl's gone too. I should kill those kids first. Damn it!" As the frustrated hypnotist roamed the forest in search of his elusive prey, he suddenly found himself ambushed by Tamanegi, perched atop a tree, clutching his mighty shovel. However, Django reacted swiftly, seizing Tamanegi by the throat and admonishing him, "Don't get too cocky." "Tamanegi!" the boys shouted in alarm. Meanwhile, Usopp and Zoro, who had been racing through the forest, came to a halt, straining to hear the commotion. "Hey, did you hear that?" Zoro questioned. "I heard it. It was their voices," Usopp replied. "That way, quickly." "Okay," Zoro reaffirmed, and they hastened towards the source of the tumult. Django directed his wrath towards the young pirates. "You've played your little pirate game too far. Since you're stupid enough to interfere in a real pirate's business, you can all go to hell and—" With a forceful throw, he launched Tamanegi into a tree, continuing with a resounding shout, "Repent! Die, you bastard!" the boys roared. Back at the coastline, the Black Cat pirates found themselves in a tense situation. "Please stop joking, Captain Kuro!" one of the pirates implored with desperation. "It's still not too late to attack the village. As long as Django can make that girl write the will, the plan can still succeed." Captain Kuro, however, remained unfazed. He calmly explained, "You don't have to worry about the plan. As long as your corpses are here, I can place all the blame on you. I never intended to let any of you leave the village alive. It would be to my disadvantage to let anyone who knows about my plans live. You mean, you planned, from the very beginning, to kill all of us? The pirates shouted. Yes, Kuro replied coldly. Ever since 3 years ago when I was still Captain Kuro, all this was part of my plan. You guys are dumb, Luffy commented bluntly. What a bunch of loser pirates. Kuro couldn't help but let out a brief chuckle, questioning the accuracy of Luffy's statement. Losers. A pirate crew is just a random gathering of outcasted outlaws, he explained. What could these fools do without my plan? You should continue to quietly follow my plans. In a pirate fleet, the crew members are just pawns for the captain to use as he wishes. That means your life and death are all in my hands. Even if there's a wall right ahead, you'd still have to follow my orders and charge at it, and sacrifice yourselves for my plan. That's the way of a pirate. A wandering little brat like you would never understand, Kuro shouted. Luffy, undeterred, responded with confidence. Even though you're the captain of a ship who controls hundreds of men, you still can't defeat Usopp. What? Kuro replied. You say that I am inferior to that captain in a kid's pirate game? That's right. His foe laughed at the comment. You're so stupid. Don't get cocky just because you've broken my cat's claws. In what way am I inferior to him? With surprising speed, Kuro vanished without a trace. The way you think? Luffy smiled. Appearing behind him, Kuro was taken by surprise as Luffy landed a powerful backhand strike across his head. You don't know what a true pirate is supposed to be, Luffy stated, sending the Butler crashing against the wall of the slope. That kid, he saw through the captain's silent step. The pirates watched in astonishment. After Luffy's hit and remarks, Kuro picked himself up, perching his glasses with his cat claws. You've insulted me, Kuro sneered. You want to know what a true pirate is supposed to be? Then let me show you. Together with the terror of a real pirate. With a menacing sway, Kuro slowly approached Luffy, continuing, the terror of a pirate, who's been at the brink of death and survived. What? That stance is! The crew was in shock. Don't tell me it's that special technique against only one person. I'm pretty sure that's it. Luffy was puzzled by the pirate's response. That's the shakushi. He's gonna use the shakushi, they warned. We're not safe here either, right? We can be killed. His true intention is to kill us. That's what he said earlier. The pirates pleaded desperately. Captain Kuro, if I go back to sea, I won't tell anyone you're still alive, so please let me live. Hey, you're so selfish, trying to save only yourself. I won't tell anyone either. Captain Kuro, just spare me. Me too. Me too. Me too. Just please don't use that technique. We'll do anything. Still questionable and puzzled, Luffy said normally, What are they talking about? He's just swaying there. Shakushi, Kuro declared as he suddenly disappeared. On board the Black Cat pirate's ship, Nami held a bag of the crew's treasure. How disappointing. I thought there would be a lot of treasure, she pondered. Is the battle over already? The thief then looked down at the scene, perplexed. Why is everyone standing still? Is it over? Suddenly, claw marks seemed to come out of nowhere, cutting down the crewmates at the bottom of the slope. Huh? Luffy watched. What's happening? One by one, the Black Cat pirates were torn to shreds by Kuro's cat claws. But Kuro himself was still nowhere to be seen, as they were killed one after the other. Now the rocks, Luffy observed. Holding his blood-stained chest, one of the crewmates begged, Captain Kuro, please stop it. It's no use, another shouted. "When he's using his silent step attack, he can't discern one person from another. He's so fast that even he doesn't know what he's attacking. He won't stop that till he's tired." Nami gasped in horror, thinking to herself, "What? What's going on? Those people are getting massacred out of nowhere." The attack continued, slashing at the crewmates with lightning-fast speeds. "At this rate, I don't know how many of us will die. Hey, help us! Try to avoid it or hide if you can." Ignoring Kuro's slight cut on his body, Luffy demanded angrily, "Come out, you evil butler! What the hell do you think your crew members are?" "Luffy?" she pondered in horror. "Come out, you evil butler!" Luffy demanded. Suddenly, Luffy is wounded by Kuro, but he keeps his ground and grabs Kuro's black jacket and slams him to the ground. "Gotcha!" he remarked with glee. "You bastard!" Kuro mocked. "You should have just quietly let me chop you to pieces. Look, it's all because of you my beloved crew is half dead and in great pain." With most of the grunts being gashed with blood and collapsed to the floor, some of the pirates voiced out, "Damn it! Stop it! It hurts!" Luffy looked at him fearlessly. "You have something to say?" Kuro questioned. "Yup." Luffy cracked his knuckles and said, declaring, "I swear, I will never ever be a pirate like you." "Oh, you won't," Kuro teased, adjusting his glasses. "Of course, you can't even be a pirate because you will die here." Kuro goes to do his move again, but this time, Luffy grabs him and holds him tight with his arms and legs around his back. "Let's see you try," Luffy declared. "Try and use your silent step now," he said, smiling. In a nearby forest, Kaya, the young heiress, pleaded desperately with the hypnotist, Django. "Please stop it," she cried out, her voice trembling. "I'll write the will. Just stop hurting the boys." "No! After you write the will, he'll kill you!" Paimon pleaded with Django's foot in his face. "Idiot! Don't try to negotiate with me," he spat. "Captain Kuro said, 'I have to kill all of you.'" Without hesitation, the hypnotist kicked a young boy towards a gnarled tree. "P-Man!" With the odds stacked against her, Kaya clutched a gleaming metal disc and threatened Django desperately. "Since you won't listen, I will kill myself, and you won't get the will," she called out. Coursing with panic, Django pleaded with her. "What? Wait! Don't make a stupid decision. I just want the will. If I don't get it, I'll be in a big trouble." Django stepped back, releasing the young boy and allowing Paimon a breath of relief. His tone softened, though the threat still lingered. "Okay, I'll let the kids go. Not like they can escape anyway." With a trembling hand, Kaya began to write her will on a cleanly cut stump. "Don't forget to mark it with your thumbprint," Django reminded her as she continued writing. The brave young boys of the Usopp pirate group lay defeated, their faces etched with pain. They shared whispered thoughts with each other. "If we pretend to be unconscious, will we live?" "I think so. Kaya saved us. Didn't the captain always say that if you know you're gonna lose, then you must flee? But Captain is a liar. Now, he's bravely fighting alone. He was all covered in blood and still wanted to protect us. We can't let Kaya die. We are the Usopp pirate group." As Kaya finished writing her will on a sliced tree, she passed it to Django, who read the words aloud. "I'm leaving all of my inheritance to my butler, Clahador." "Good. This is definitely your will. That even saved me time hypnotizing you," Django remarked, spinning his weapons. "Now, you have to die. If you're still alive, the will's no better than a piece of scrap paper." "You promised me you won't hurt the boys," Kaya said firmly. "Don't worry, I'm a man who keeps his word," the hypnotist replied. Kaya, on the brink of death, smiled briefly, knowing her sacrifice could save the boys. In the distance, Usopp, perched on Zoro's back, spotted Django with Kaya and shouted excitedly, "There they are!" Zoro, racing toward the danger, kept running, ignoring Usopp's pleas. "Stop! Stop! There! There!" Usopp insisted. "Ow! Ow! Don't hit me there! I have a wound!" Zoro retorted. "Over there, thank God! She's still alive! But she's in danger! Let me down!" "You just wait there," the swordsman responded. Without hesitation, Zoro tossed Usopp aside and confronted Django, determined to stop the hypnotist's evil plans. "Damn hypnotist, you can't do anything now!" Zoro shouted, as he wondered if he could reach Django from this distance. Django looked in shock to see Zoro charging toward him, and he tightened his grip on Kaya's neck, threatening to end her life. "I should finish you off quickly. Don't even think about it," the boys bellowed in unison. As Django prepared to strike a fatal blow, the Usopp pirates, Piemon, Ninjin, and Tamanegi surprised him with a daring move. They jammed a shovel between Django's cheeks, causing him to recoil in anger. "You damn brats!" Django growled. He laughed sinisterly, believing he had the upper hand. "It's too late now, Haramaki kid." "Oh yeah?" He smirked. But Zoro, with a calculated move, cleared the way for Usopp by slicing through the branches blocking his shot. Usopp's slingshot was ready to fire. "Good," Usopp declared. "That tree branch was blocking the way." And then, as the pieces fell into place, Usopp announced with unwavering determination, "Eat this, hypnotist." "Damn! Let me go!" Kuro exclaimed, struggling to break free from Luffy's grip, but Luffy didn't release his hold. "Now your 3-year plan will fail," he told Kuro with a sly grin. Kuro's eyes widened. "What did you say?" Meanwhile, Kuro's crew members watched from a distance, their voices hushed in astonishment. He's got Captain Kuro. Wait a minute. If he wins, then we won't be killed. That's great, Rubber Man. Kill Captain Kuro!" They cheered. Irritated by their cheers, Luffy threw his head back and stretched his neck, addressing the Black Cat pirates angrily at the bottom. "I don't need your cheers. I'm gonna beat you all up too, so be ready. Gomu. Gomu no!" The butler sneered with disgust. "How can it be? My plan—" He seethed, a loud shout escaping his lips. "My plan cannot fail!" Usopp aimed his slingshot, declaring, "Special technique, Kayaku Boshi." Simultaneously, Usopp's slingshot released its payload, landing directly on Django's head with a deafening explosion. At the same moment, Luffy retracted his neck quickly and declared, "Bell!" Upon impact, his mighty headbutt connected with Kuro's face, knocking his glasses to the ground. Kuro's carefully laid plans crumbled as the explosive impact left him reeling. With a loud thud, he hammered Kuro to the unforgiving ground. The air was still, and yet only one stood as the victor. He did it, Captain Kuro was... "Even a ship of Marines weren't able to defeat the 100 plans, Kuro!" exclaimed one of the Black Cat pirates with disbelief. "He really beat him! Who the hell are you?" The crew stood, paralyzed by the unfolding scene. Luffy, the victor, spoke with confidence. "Monkey D! Luffy! There's no way I'd lose to a pirate who gives up his name and runs from the sea. The only time a pirate should give up his name is when he dies." Confusion rippled among the Black Cat pirates. "Luffy? I've never heard of him," they murmured. "You better try to remember my name. I'm the one who's going to become the King of the Pirates," Luffy declared. "Is this guy crazy?" The pirates stammered as Luffy, with a swift motion, threw the defeated Butler towards them. "Take him back," he demanded, "and don't ever come back." With that authoritative command, the Black Cat pirates, dazed and defeated, retreated from the shore in great haste. As Luffy observed the fleeing pirates, the toll of his battle became apparent. His stance faltered, and he collapsed from his wounds. Luckily, Nami caught him before he hit the ground. "You fought hard," she remarked. The crew, sensing the urgency, hurried to make their escape. Nami, sitting on the ground, pondered, "I guess even you can't stand up after being cut so many times. Why did you get so mad earlier?" Lying on his back, Luffy responded simply, "I don't like them. They're wrong." Nami, holding his straw hat, stared at him for a moment. "What are you talking about? It's obviously because they're pirates." "I want meat," Luffy replied. "You—" The dense forest enveloped Zoro as he tied his black bandana around his arm, the echoes of the defeated Django fading into the background. "Can you guys keep everything that has happened here as a secret?" Usopp asked. "What? A secret? But why would we do that? That's right. We fought for the village." "Everyone will change their opinion of you, Captain. You could be the town's hero," the boys exclaimed with enthusiasm. Kaya, observing the scene, spoke out to Usopp, her words gentle but firm. "We have to fix the misunderstanding about you." Usopp, wearing a solemn expression, replied, "There's no misunderstanding. People would just say I'm a liar like I've always been. It's over now, and I don't want to cause unnecessary fright. Besides what has happened today, I think pirates wouldn't be interested in a small village like this, and the villagers would be able to continue living their lives peacefully. So let's just say nothing happened." The words hung in the air, and Kaya and the three boys watched in surprise as he pressed on. "Nothing happened. It was all a lie." "Usopp," she voiced, but was shortly interrupted. "I won't force it on you guys, but no, I can do that. If that's what's best for this village," Ninjin responded. P-Man agreed. "Same here." "Me too," Tamanegi added emphatically. "I won't tell a soul." Usopp then turned his gaze to the mistress. "Kaya, is it going to be hard for you?" "No," she said calmly. In the heart of the quaint village, nestled among the trees where the birds sang in harmony, the morning unfolded with its usual serenity. But today, an unsettling realization dawned upon the villagers as the clock struck 7. "Hey, it's already 7 o'clock," pondered a concerned couple. "My gosh, you're right. I overslept. That's strange. Usopp didn't come today." The absence of Usopp, a familiar figure in the daily rhythm, echoed through the village. Murmurs of worry and confusion filled the air as another resident pondered aloud. "I wonder what happened to Usopp. Feels weird. Throws my whole schedule off." In a humble abode, an old couple shared a moment of concern. "Dear, it's time for work," the wife reminded, but her gaze lingered on the empty path. "Really? Usopp hasn't come running through yet," replied the husband. In another home, a little girl broke the hushed atmosphere. "Mommy, is the big liar not coming today?" she questioned. "Is that lying brat not here yet? Were we a little too harsh on him yesterday?" "Oh, I'm sure he'll come tomorrow," mused the parents. The once trivial concerns now cast a shadow over the village, leaving an air of uncertainty that lingered like the morning mist. As the three boys went back to their own home, their parents greeted them with a mix of concern and exasperation. "P-Man, how could you get your clothes dirty so early in the morning? Go wash up!" P-Man winced at the volume of his mother's scolding. Yes, Mom," he mumbled, shuffling off to clean himself up. Meanwhile, Ninjin's mother was in the midst of preparing dinner. She turned to her son with a quizzical expression. "Ninjin, have you seen the frying pan? I can't make scrambled eggs without it." With a mischievous smile, Ninjin held the pan behind his back. I'll have them uncooked. I like them uncooked," he grinned. Tamanegi, however, wasn't as fortunate. His mother had a keen eye and noticed the state of his glasses. Her voice rose in frustration. "Did you break your glasses again, Tamanegi?" "I'm so sorry, Mom," he apologized. At the coastline, Usopp stood with a grateful smile, his eyes reflecting the fading hues of the horizon. Luffy, Zoro, and Nami gathered around as they listened to his words. "Thank you. It's all thanks to you. If it weren't for you guys—" "The village couldn't have been protected," Usopp exclaimed, sincerity lacing every word. Zoro leaned against the slope's wall. With a smirk, he replied, "What are you saying? If you hadn't done anything, I wouldn't have either." "Same here," Luffy added. Nami, cradling her white sack with a tender touch, added with a playful glint in her eyes, "That doesn't matter. I was able to get the treasure. In light of this, there's a decision I've made." "Huh?" Back at the Grand Mansion, the air hung heavy with tension as Kaya delicately tended to Mary's wound. The room, adorned with opulent tapestries, bore witness to the aftermath of a recent disaster. "What? Did you just say?" The servant, still reeling from the shock, relayed his disbelief. "After such a disaster, we are to act as though nothing has happened? Would you rather not?" she countered. The servant's features softened into a contented smile. "How good-natured this young man is," he mused, seemingly pleased. "He says it's best for the villagers. Are you all right with that, mistress?" Kaya continued her careful work, bandaging Mary's wounds inflicted by Kuro's cat claws. "If Usopp says it is the best, then I will do so," she replied. "I see. Yes, I will go along with your story," the servant acquiesced, nodding in agreement. "And Mary," she spoke out, "there's a favor I'd like to ask of you," she added. As the clouds shimmered across the sky near the cliff, Usopp had gathered his 3 comrades, Piman, Ninjin, and Tamanegi. A gentle breeze whispered through the air as the 4 figures stood facing each other in the barren plain. "Captain Usopp, what is it that you wanted to talk to us about?" they asked. "Oh yes, you're all here," Usopp replied, his eyes gleaming with pride. He turned around, facing the vast expanse, and began to unravel the tale of their recent battle against the pirates. "You guys fought bravely against those Kuro Neko pirates. It was a battle worthy of the Usopp pirate group. I'm very proud as the captain." With a deep breath, Usopp continued, his gaze now fixed on the distant horizon. "5 years ago, we formed the Usopp pirate group when you guys were 4. This was the greatest and most magnificent battle we have experienced in those 5 years, and now it's sudden. But I have decided to go to the sea by myself. I'm going to become a real pirate." Stunned silence gripped the 3 boys as Usopp smiled, as the weight of his decision became clear. "What? Captain?" They wavered. "After seeing them, I decided I'm going to leave this village," Usopp declared joyfully. "There is only one reason, because the flag is calling me." "Captain, that's a lie. That's also a lie. Right. That's so sudden. Besides, don't you love this village, Captain?" "What's going to happen to Usopp Pirate Group?" Usopp turned around, facing the sky. "Thanks for everything, guys. I don't plan on telling the folks in the village. Say bye to them for me." "No! No! I don't want to say that! Don't go, Captain!" they pleaded. But Usopp continued, calling their history to the forefront. "Do you remember this place? This is where we first met." 5 years ago, Usopp sat on the field as 3 young boys approached him. They called him a liar, a very famous liar. "I don't want to hear that story," Piman shouted. But Usopp looked back at them with glee and told them to call him Captain Usopp from now on, and that they are a part of the Usopp pirate group. Despite his words, they questioned his sanity. "A lot has happened," he pondered. The scenes flashed by, playful missions. Usopp commanding the boys to chase out a dog, mistaking it for Cerberus. Another, the captain himself running after a lizard, proclaiming it a dragon, urging the Usopp pirate group to capture it. The boys witnessed Usopp's perfect sharpshooting skills, and he claimed it was because he was a brave warrior of the sea. In another escapade, They stole apples from the store, convinced the owner was an alien. "What are your life ambitions?" Usopp questioned them. Ninjin boldly declared, "To own a bar." Piman shared, "To become a master carpenter." Tamanegi added, "To become a writer." As the four of them started to cry, Usopp shared a tearful farewell, boldly saying, "While not losing sight of our ambitions, swear that you will go on the road you have chosen. Starting today, the Usopp pirate group is disbanded." With a fishbone stubbornly stuck in his mouth, Luffy found solace in the local restaurant, indulging in a hearty meal with Nami and Zoro. "I got it!" Luffy gasped as he took out a fishbone. Zoro couldn't resist but add, "Idiot. It's because your throat isn't trained enough to handle fish bones." Nami dangled a leftover fish over her plate. "If you eat a fish, this is what usually remains." "Well, we had our meal. We should get going." "You're right," Luffy concluded. However, the entrance of the restaurant swung open. Kaya, the mistress of the village and a familiar face, stepped in, her presence a surprise to the weary crew. "Oh, so this is where you guys are," Kaya remarked, her eyes scanning the trio. Luffy, ever cheerful, waved in greeting. "Hey, mistress!" "Don't you need to stay in bed?" Nami questioned. A resolve gleamed in Kaya's eyes as she dismissed the concern. "I've been sick like this for a year, ever since I lost my parents that day. Usopp encouraged me. That's why I can't be so weak now. Anyway, I heard that you guys needed a ship." "A ship?" Luffy's eyes lit up. "You're gonna give us one?" Elsewhere, Usopp laid sprawled on his worn bed, surrounded by the remnants of his chaotic packing. The air in the room crackled with the anticipation of change, and the green bag at his side bulged with the promise of adventure. "Finished!" he exclaimed, casting a glance around the place. "It's time to say goodbye to this house." Despite being ready for his travels, Usopp found himself in a predicament. The bag, overstuffed with his most prized possessions, refused to cooperate within the narrow frames of the door. "No! Damn! Why can't I get out?" he grunted, wrestling with the rebellious bag. "When I finally managed to stuff everything in." In his struggle, the door surrendered to the force, breaking free from its hinges as Usopp tumbled down the hill outside, rolling down the hill. In a sudden halt, he landed with a thud against a thick tree, wincing in pain. "Ouch! This won't stop me," he chuckled, brushing off the minor setback. "It's just a prelude to the upcoming great adventures, a good one to boot." Determined, Usopp gathered his scattered belongings and placed it promptly in his green bag. On the shore, Mary stood proudly as he revealed a mighty ship behind him on the shore. With Mary's flags fluttering in the sky, it displayed a white sheep's head at the bow, with brown horns curling back to the deck. The ship was mostly wooden, but it was remarkable nevertheless. Luffy, Zoro, and Nami stood transfixed with their eyes wide with wonder. "Hey!" the swordsman began. "A caravel!" Nami exclaimed with excitement. "Wow!" The servant Mary, with a small bandage on his head, explained. "I've been waiting for you. It's slightly old style, but I designed it myself. It's a caravel and it uses a staysail. The controls are in the back. It's called the Going Mary." Mary's gaze then shifted to Luffy as he continued. "So it is you who defeated the Kuro Neko pirates with Usopp. I thought you'd be a little bigger." "We can really take this?" Luffy proclaimed with joy. "Yes, I insist," Kaya replied. "I will explain the steering system," the servant began. "First of all, in order to adjust the yards in relation to the crew garnet." However, listening to his instructions, Luffy just stood there, extremely puzzled. Luckily, Nami interrupted them with a sigh. Don't explain it to him. I'll listen to the explanation. This is a cool ship. Luffy looked up. The mistress reassured him. I had everything you would need for a voyage loaded onto the ship. Thanks for causing all this trouble, he chimed. With his arms crossed, Zoro glanced at the slope. That's for going through all this trouble? Suddenly they heard screams coming from the top of the slope. Stop me, please, Usopp's voice echoed, drawing everyone's attention. With his heavy green bag, he rolled down the slope at an alarming pace. Usopp! What's he doing? Luffy questioned. I think we should stop him. Zoro tells him, if he keeps on going like that, he'll hit the ship. The pair quickly intervened, pressing their legs against Usopp's face to stop him. Thank you, he said. No problem. As the dust settled, Kaya inquired, So you are going to the sea, Usopp? Yeah, I have to go before I change my mind. Please don't stop me, Usopp replied back. I won't. I figured that you might do this, Kaya shared thoughtfully. It really makes me sad, though. Usopp smiled. Next time I come to this village, I'll tell you adventure stories that are more unbelievable than lies. Thank you. I look forward to it, she said. Well, safe voyage, guys. Hope to see you again somewhere, Usopp remarked, his voice filled with both excitement and a touch of nostalgia. On their newly acquired ship, Luffy lunged at the wooden end rails of the ship and said simply, Why? Why? Usopp replied, Sheesh. You're such a cold-hearted man. We're both going to be pirates now, so we might meet again on the high seas. What are you talking about? Zoro interjected, pointing at the ship on the deck. Hurry up and get on board. What? With a carefree expression, Luffy said to him, You're already our companion, aren't you? For Usopp, time seemed to pause as he looked at him. Despite the unexpected revelation, he bounced with joy, exclaiming, I'm the captain, right? No way! I'm the captain, Luffy retorted. Hidden at the crest of the slope, Ninjin, Tamanegi, and Piman watched in silent observance. Their eyes followed the ship as the Going Merry sailed away in the far distance, carrying their former captain. There goes the captain, Ninjin shared. But if he's with those people, I feel safer, Piman confessed, breaking the stillness. Yeah, I've never seen anyone so strong, Tamanegi agreed. We can't do anything about it. He always wanted to be a pirate. The villagers will be sad when we tell them the news. It's so sudden. And it's because Captain, he was pretty noisy just by himself. I have an idea, Paimon declared. In a secluded spot, away from the shore, Mary and Kaya found solace, watching them. Mary, she pondered. What is it, mistress? Sitting against the tree, Kaya crouched her legs. It hurts to lie, doesn't it? You mean about Clahador? Mary questioned. No, she smiled. Is it that you actually wanted to stop Usopp? Pressing on, Mary's eyes softened as he understood the situation. Mistress, I heard a story about him when I was younger from the villagers, he began, his voice steady and comforting. Right after Usopp's father left this village. He also lost his mother. What? Kaya's eyes widened in surprise. I heard that the day before his mother died, she was weak from illness, and the words that came out of him were, The pirates are coming, Mary explained. Usopp's heart pounded as he sprinted through the familiar streets of his village. His small legs carried him to the door of his modest home, and without a second thought, the young boy bursts in, shouting, The pirates are here! With a kind heart, the village doctor intercepted the young boy. Hey, Usopp! You shouldn't scream! But the urgency in Usopp's voice couldn't be contained. His mother, weakened by sickness, lay in bed with a white cloth on her forehead, struggling to maintain composure. Dad's pirate ship came. Dad came to get us. He said he'll take us along as soon as you feel better, Mom. His mother's gaze met his, as she turned her head with a weary expression. "Don't say something stupid, Usopp. Dad isn't going to come home, but I'm proud that I married him. I wish I could see you when you become as brave as him." Tears welled up in Usopp's eyes, but he persisted. "Don't speak like you're gonna die. Do you know the story about the medicine? It's a legendary medicine that cures any kind of disease. It's just on the other side of the sea." "Oh, silly child. That's just a dream," she compassionately remarked. "Now, if something happens to me, I want you to listen to the villagers and—" "I don't mind being silly. I don't want to hear you talking as if it were your last words. Of course, I have dreams. I'm the son of a pirate." As the wind whispered through the air, Mary explained the untold story to her. Out of sadness, he continued to lie after her death, hoping that someday his father's pirate ship might appear in the bay, that he would come to pick up his son. The villagers said that was the reason behind his lies. He probably couldn't leave you alone after you lost your parents, for he too experienced that loss in this village. You will need to become stronger now, as a gratitude of everything he has done for you. Understanding his tale, Kaya blossomed with joy as they exchanged smiles. Yes. On the Going Merry, Luffy and his crew sailed on the boundless sea. Excitement rippled through the crew, and in unison, they raised their heavy drinks, shouting with unbridled joy, "To a new ship and a new crew member! Cheers!" With Usopp on board, the sea stretched out before them as they sailed on the distant horizon in glee. Amidst the festivities, Piemon, Ninjin, and Tamanegi, the three former Usopp pirates, gathered on the outskirts of the village. Their eyes gleamed with determination as they mentally prepared themselves for the next challenge ahead of them. "Let's go!" Tamanegi exclaimed. With his hair covering his eyes, Ninjin replied, "Are we really going to do it?" "Of course!" Piemon confidently shouted. "We have to succeed the captain!" They took a collective deep breath and then, with newfound resolve, they charged towards the village, proclaiming, "The pirates are here." "Mary, Yes, mistress? I'm going to become a doctor." "Oh, that is a good goal.